Or get out of the way, please. There you go. Silly cat. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going at her specifically or what's going on, but I'll repost it and then and then hopefully if it's going now, I haven't checked yet. It might be going through, and if so, hopefully I can get people back. If it breaks again, then I don't know what the issue is. This has only happened with the title that I had in this stream, so maybe with a different title, like maybe it was an algorithm thing. Yeah, I'm trying because I haven't gotten to stream with you guys in a couple weeks. What's up, Deshaun? So I don't know if you heard my answer to the question for it, but I just want to say really quick. I don't know what it is. My stream keeps cutting off, and it keeps saying it's like violating YouTube rules. And I'm wondering if it was the name of the previous stream, because that's the only time that's happened was the previous title, and I didn't change it from last week's attempt, but I'm going to keep it this week, or I'm going to alter it this week. So hopefully things go differently this week, and then we can talk about everything. But anybody that's new to the stream, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I've seen I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, Deshaun. This streams are more like a community stream. They're more about talking to you guys. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me about, and then you kind of just anything that you have that we'll just pop a question. Like if you have a Black Clover question, ask a Black Clover thing. If somebody wants to ask me something about like Fairy Tail or Eden Zero or Undead Unluck or anything, then that question will come up right afterwards. It's more of me talking to you guys. It's a community stream. What's up, Zach God? What's up, Rex Mula, Jared Punch? How's it going? Akira, Miss Money Girl. I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Same thing with Shamik McIntyre. Actually, I feel like I've seen Shamik once before. I'm not too sure. Yeah, these streams. I try and do them weekly. The last 2 weeks I've had some issues, but the whole theme and the whole idea behind it is it's like a community stream. So if you guys want to talk to me in live chat, that way it's not just you guys listen to the videos and then maybe if you post a comment, maybe I can find it, and if I get a bunch of comments, maybe I might end up missing one. That's one of the reasons I like the live chat, because I like to kind of keep up with stuff, and I like to kind of keep up what's going on, and just all around answer things more in real time. I think things work a little bit better that way when it comes to these kind of things, instead of it being like a Twitter AMA or anything like that. You're new, yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm glad I'm getting new people. Trying to chat makes get some new people out here. I posted the tweet on Twitter, so if anybody wants to show up. And then just before we start, I'd really appreciate anybody. If you guys could thumbs up the video, befriend the like button, and see if anybody else that might want to come and visit. Come out and hang out and chat. Do you think Fairy Tail will come out in the new season? So I will talk about that really quick, just because it's purely a rumor. I don't have anything I don't have any. Well, it's more of like a speculation. I don't even think it's a rumor. The official Twitter page for Fairy Tail, I guess there was some announcement that was going to come out. I think in the middle of June, like shortly before the video game, and then because of all the stuff with Corona, things got pushed back, and the official Fairy Tail anime Twitter they comment on something about it. So I feel like maybe that's a hint towards there being a 100 Years Quest anime, which would be pretty hype. But I still stand by what what I said about before. If they end up doing a 100 Years Quest anime, I really hope they get like a good Studio 4. It doesn't have to be like a 10 out of 10 amazing, but like there's definitely parts where I want there to be like a lot of love, and like when you get those hype scenes. That's one of the things I really like about the Black Clover anime, is when they get to like a really big scene, they put a ton of effort into it. And I know that the scenes where some of the parts where it has a little bit more like wonky animation, it's because of their schedule and stuff, and how hard they're overworked and whatnot. So I don't personally get mad about that, but I do really appreciate the amount of effort when they know like a scene where a fan is really excited, that they put a lot of time into it. Eden Zero, about to get an anime adaptation. I want to do a video on that, but I'm gonna wait until official news, which I think it was. I believe last week's chapter they said that this upcoming chapter was gonna have some information, like an announcement. So if there is a reveal in the next chapter, I'll definitely do a video on it. We'll talk about it. We'll do some, do a video talking about like favorite upcoming scenes and whatnot. What's up, Jason Kiefer? How's it going, man? Has that been made official? Not yet, but I believe it's next week. I believe next week it's going to be it's going to be announced, or next chapter. So let's get some of these comments. Noah's mermaid form is beautiful. I really like that. It reminds me of Lucy's mermaid form, and I do. One of the things I really like, just in general, between Fairy Tail and Black Clover, there are a lot of differences but similarities to them, and I enjoy like stuff like that. Where you just as a small like little perk, I enjoy seeing Noelle in that her mermaid form. I enjoyed Lucy getting it, even if it was temporary. And I don't know. I think it was just fun for everybody. By the way, is Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest a sequel, or what does it mean? It's a continuation. It takes place exactly where the last chapter and last episode took off. Personally, I think that Hiramashima retitled it under a different thing, because it's technically not Fairy Tail, it's Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, so it's sort of like a new IP. So I think he did that so we can get an anime under a different studio, so it doesn't fall under the same contract. Because I was rewatching the Tartarus arc recently, and there's a lot of like really good animation spots. Like the whole like entirety of Marred Gear's existence from start to finish in the anime looks great. Like it was much better than I remembered it. I don't know if maybe they made it a lot more like made it look more cleaner in HD, and maybe the ones on like Hulu and stuff is like with the DVD releases, but it looks great. Like if you watched it when it first came out, and you're watching on like some streaming website or something, go back and watch some of those. They look fantastic. I was actually really happy about going back and seeing how well those looked. That's one of the things I've been liking a lot about Black Clover. So like it's been getting a lot more. I think it's been getting a lot more love and attention from the studio and the people in charge, because it's had like the last couple episodes, even though they're I don't want to say filler, because they're not filler. They're kind of just kind of like an in-between stuff between arcs, just kind of like a kind of a cool down period before they eventually get into the Spade War in the anime. That generally when you have stuff like that, where it's like, hey, we know this, even if it's canon, or like the primary hope is that they build a bigger gap between the manga and the anime so they don't get caught up. Generally, there's a lot of like times in that when they do that the animation doesn't look very good, because it's more about like building the gap rather than making it look as hype as possible. So I've really been enjoying like how well it's been looking lately. And I heard that I think One Piece's anime is supposed to start like recording again soon. The only anime I know from what someone's told me is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is going to come back on the 13th, I think. So I'm guessing around that time is when a lot of like animes will start kind of rolling back, and a lot of the weekly ones. So keep fingers crossed. We've been waiting on the results of the fight against that big spider in the volcano for a bit. So we'll see how that goes. I'm wondering if they're gonna have any like hints towards Leopold's runes or anything. Well, I guess he hasn't learned it yet, or just anything towards like Leopold's fighting style as it went. What's up? Yeah, what's up, Jason Kiefer? How's it going, man? Well, Act Age anime isn't happening, and everyone thought it was a big announcement. Did it really? I thought it was. I thought they said they were going to announce it. I got to read Act Age still. Heard it's really good, and I know I got to read it just from the respect that that Shonen Jump issue cover, when all of the current mangaka picked their favorite. It was their favorite shonen character from a previous series to be in it. Like Luffy was hanging out with Goku, so obviously they would have picked Goku. Naruto was hanging out with Deku. Tabata picked Hiei to hang out with Austin. It was funny, but I don't know the person's name who made Act Age, but they had their main character hang out with Yu-Gi-Moto, and I thought that was really cool. Just I love Yu-Gi-Oh, so I just thought it was just a cool respect point. What's up, Zach Raw? How's it going, man? I have a question for Fairy Tail. What do you think will happen with Irene, Balseria in the future Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest? And what will Juvian Gray unlock in Unison Raid Sign move versus Metro? With Irene, I think Irene is going to be built up to be some form. Like, I think Irene's position is going to be some form of adversary for Celine. I feel like you can't pass up two, like, really powerful, female dragon characters like them, and not have them interact. And especially from the point that everything that's going on right now with the dragon gods, when you think about it, is partially Irene's fault. And that's one of the things I'm really hyped about Irene coming back into the story, which was funny because at the time of the chapter, I was like, oh, yeah, she chanted herself in Irene, and I completely forgot that, with her two minions, that she could chant personalities into things. So it made way more sense when I thought about it shortly afterwards. But she should have a pretty important point in the story, not just like, hey, I exist again, I'm kind of here, kind of like, sorry, Lizana, but Lizana, Irene actually has like a really important background piece within her story that relates to the Dragon Gods right now. Like, there should be at least one interaction between them. With Selene, I think it'll be more towards like them as the characters, because I feel like they will just clash. Like, I feel like they're just gonna have some personality differences, and I don't know, two big alpha female dragons are probably going to not get along. But when it comes to the other ones, I feel like Mercephobia is kind of like on the fence, but the biggest one I believe, right now at least, would be Alderaan that would have an issue with her, because I think Alderaan has the biggest grudge when it comes to Acnologia, because so far we have four of the Dragon Gods. We have four of the Dragon Gods so far. We have Mercephobia, who, as far as we know, he's become reformed. He's kind of reflected on everything that he did was bad, and he's trying to become a better person. So I feel like when it comes to Acnologia and Irene and stuff, that he would kind of probably put some blame on himself, just because like I think he saw like him and dragons as part of a problem, just the way they behaved and killed people indiscriminately. With Ignia, I think Ignia's beef is more towards Natsu, and it's going to have like a deeper thing with Ignia. Selene, based off of what Selene has talked about, I feel like she's actually like was okay with Acnologia, because I think she seems to want the end of the world to complement the moon. So when it comes to her, I feel like maybe she's cool with everything Acnologia did. Alderaan, I think Alderaan will have like beef, because as far as we can tell, he had the most, like, the biggest fall when it came to Acnologia, for anybody that wasn't just dead, because he was already seemingly very powerful. He ran away, and he clearly has some ego, so it probably, like, hurt him a lot internally. At some point after that, it was like 100 years or so after he fled, he tried to challenge Acnologia again, lost, and then had to go, like, rest for 300 years. So I feel like when it comes to him, he'd be the one to have big beef with Irene. Viernes, I'm not too sure. Like, obviously, we don't know anything about Viernes. I'm hoping the reason that Viernes is hiding is either, like, a really fun personality trait. Like, maybe he's, like, a really festive and fun dragon, but the only way you could do that is in, like, some, like, deep underground cavern system, and maybe he's got, like, a secret city in there. Well, I assume all the dragon gods are going to have their own cities and, cults and stuff. But other than that, it's probably like some form of mental trauma. Like, I think it'd be really cool if we had a dragon god who was like so damaged from Acnologia mentally that he was just kind of insane. Because usually if you had like a character who's just broken mentally, they don't generally end up like super powerful. And somebody like as powerful as a dragon god, if he was built like that, would be really interesting. Eden Zero is consistently smashing in prior arcs and quality. I've been really liking this arc. Like, these last couple chapters have been really good. I'm super hyped to see what with the stuff with Wise, because I didn't see that. I didn't see like Wise getting a story piece at all in this arc. I figured it was going to be more about like the team on a big event. Like, we already got some stuff about Wise's backstory. We already got a lot of the characters, like maybe not their full backstories, but parts of their backstory. I mean, obviously, like Hermit and Homura, we got a pretty good amounts, but I didn't expect there to be anything for Wise at all, which is fun because I had the same thought when in Fairy Tail, when you kind of like get the main crew at the very beginning. Is Greg having like the first character arc in the series was very surprising. Like, his was really early. Like, I figured it would be Natsu or Lucy, and then it ended up being Greg, but that was super cool. So with Wise, I'm excited to see where this goes. And then I am still hoping that Jin shows up. Cool it'd be if it's Shiki, Jin, and Wise against Draken Joe. That'd be so awesome. Now, each of the Black Clover main characters has gotten a power from the outside sources. Yuno's elf birth, Asa's rage form, and Noel's mermaid form, thanks to Lolo. Yeah, it's all been pretty cool. Well, Yunos wasn't new in this arc, which is unfortunate. He got, and some of the memes kind of just like putting him down. I think personally, though, I think it works because up until that point, like he's been made out to be super powerful. Like he's just, we know he's like a battle genius. Like he's really good at learning and adapting magic. But like seeing him not get a power up, seeing him kind of toppled like that, I think was a smart move from Tabata's point, because it breaks away that kind of like stance where it's like, oh, he's just gonna beat everybody, he's too powerful. But instead, now Asta is, I think he's ahead right now, which is cool because generally Yuno has been ahead of Asta in a lot of ways throughout the series. The only point I think where Asta was straight ahead is when he unlocked his black form, but that was only because at the point of us as readers hadn't seen Yuno's spirit dive. And then I personally believe through the Elf Resurrection arc, I think, really we saw it. Clearly, Yuno was more powerful than Asta when he had the elf buff. But now I see Asta as more powerful than Yuno. But maybe that's just because of the way their fights were put out there. Because Dante was just like casual, not caring, kind of just chilling. And then he's like, all right. He didn't get serious with Asta. He got playful. And he completely just bodied the hell out of him. Whereas when Xenon beat Yuno, he was just like his plan was just to pretty much let him bleed out and die. He wasn't like, oh, okay, I guess I'll take a little effort. It was like, all right, I'm gonna end this. You're gonna get stabbed. So maybe they are still about equal. At least currently, from my point of view, I see Asta as stronger than Yuno, which I would like that to be the case, because I think it'd be cool to see Yuno. Advance right now and kind of being like looking for a way to get stronger. Starting Black Clover, it's pretty good. Good, man. We always welcome more Black Clover fans. What if Acnologia had a son? If Acnologia had a son, that wouldn't be an issue for me. My question would be, who is the mother? That would be more of like, all right, I want to know exactly what this is, like where this comes from. That's like kind of one of the things that's always been like a question is like, who is Makarov's wife? Who's Ivan's wife? We saw Yuri's wife. We don't know who Makarov's wife was. We don't know who Ivan's wife was at all. So, then I don't know. Some of the characters are just never, getting that point in the spotlight. Maybe they died at some point and they were never really like vital to be shown, kind of like situation. But Acnologia is a big, important story character. If there was somebody willing to have sex with him after he causes such genocide and such like destruction in the world, that person would need to be really important and have to be somebody big. Like it would have to be someone like Selene. If Selene is revealed to have like a son with Acnologia, and like we find out like maybe there's some weird reason why it wasn't brought up, like maybe Acnologia didn't know, like maybe she disguised herself in the human form and kind of did what Irene did and made sure that he couldn't smell her, and then did her thing. Something like that would be really cool. I think that would be really badass if maybe like her whole thing is she's trying to like make some child of prophecy from like the moon and the apocalypse to bring about the end, and it's all according to Acnologia's seed. And it can work because we have seen factually from Irene that you can use magic to kind of pause the growth of a baby in their womb. So it would be completely believable if they did something like that. But we'll see. It'd be a really weird plot twist. But I would be perfectly okay with it as long as they're able to explain it. And personally, to me, if Acnologia has a kid in any capacity, the thing that I will be like in demand of knowing is who the hell is the mother. I will admit, I would love a Brotherhood style for Rave Master. I would love that too. I would love to see Rave Master reanimated. I prefer World 30, Joe's Overdrive, to World 29, Joe's Overdrive. Was his... I mean, the one we saw him use wasn't fully on. We only saw it kind of cover his face. I actually haven't looked at the old page back when he used it at that point. Is it different? Like, does it look different at that point? I actually am very curious. I want to look at it right now because I need to know if if there's a point where like Drac and Joe steps out and if there's marks on his face or something that looks very, very irregular in comparison. I'm just pulling up the chapter now. There's I'm like a chapter or two off. But anyway, let me read some of the comments so I get this. Tartarus, wait, When did he say that? Oh wait, when did I missed your comment? What are you referring to, Jason? I completely missed it. His 29 overdrive was only half. Oh yeah, it only covered up like it was part of his face and I think an arm. I don't know if there was more. One of these days I'm gonna remember to turn off the Discord sounds. I mean, it's not like a bad thing, but just in the background. I'm hoping it doesn't bother anybody in the stream. I'm just thinking about it because I'm trying to wonder if there was anything in terms of like markings or design that it was altered. But I'll see in a minute. Tartarus is my favorite arc. I love Tartarus too. Tartarus is my favorite arc in Fairy Tail. The only one right now, if you count 100 Years Quest as a saga, I think by the end of it, it'll be my favorite. One of the reasons is it's a much more it's a much larger story because I don't see it I don't see like the Water Dragon God arc. I see it more of like a saga. Like the whole 100 Years Quest is one large story piece, and we have to look at it in the total of it. It's kind of like Dragon Ball. You have the Cell like the Cell Saga, and like you have the first part with Dr. Gero and was it Android? I don't remember if Dr. Gero. I think Dr. Gero was Android 19 and the other one was 20. I don't remember if I've got that mixed up. But then you have them, then you have the other androids, then you have Cell. But it's not like it's called, it's not like it's split up. It's just called the Android Saga. Just like there's the Saiyan Saga and there's the Frieza Saga or Namek Saga. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I actually don't remember which one of that is the official one that people. I don't know if it actually is official or if there's just a majority stated. And then like Majin Buu and stuff. I think Super has felt more arc style, less saga style. Because with Dragon Ball, I've never really heard anyone say like the Frieza arc. It's the Frieza Saga or the Namek Saga. And that's what I feel more when it comes to 100 Years Quest. I think it's more about oh shit. Thank you, Kimano, for the $100 super chat. Again, I'm watching and responding to Nux Taku video. No one understands Pretzel. All right, I'll watch it. I'll record it. I'll do it tonight. And oh, there's the sound effects. Yeah, thanks you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'll do it. Personally, I'll give you my legit reason I've been put up. It's just super long, and I feel like when I finish, because I'm gonna end up pausing a lot. I remember I had to go back and look at that the size comparison video. I think I have close to twice the time of that video just commenting on it and how ridiculous it is. And I don't know. I haven't watched the video before, so it's gonna be completely blind. So when I get to that video, I'm gonna be kind of taking everything in it for the first time. So it's gonna be entirely me just trying to process everything, and I'm gonna have to probably pause a good amount just to give you guys my thoughts, because obviously it's gotta be one, it's gotta be transformative, and two, I'm willing to bet I'm gonna have a lot to say when it comes to this video, because I'd like to believe that that he knows what he's talking about. Maybe there's like parts where I'll fully agree, and I'm sure there's gonna be parts that I'm just like, no, I don't agree with like this part or this part or something. It'll probably be some of like the more scenes that are infamous amongst like the reader, not even the readers, the people that know of Fairy Tail, because there's a lot of people that will say stuff without knowing context, like Sting Surrender and stuff. They don't even know why he did it. But anyway, yeah, I'll get to that. I'll do it tonight, I promise. When you say that, yeah, 100%. Do you hate My Hero Academia? Just wondering. No, I don't hate My Hero Academia. I enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it as much as like when there's a lot more shonen weekly Shonen Jump series right now that I like more than My Hero Academia. Like I like Black Clover more. I like Chainsaw Man more. I like Undead Unluck more. I like Jujutsu Kaisen more. I still like My Hero Academia. Like I like the villain stuff. I think that the easiest way for me to like give a reason that I like My Hero Academia, but I'm not super hyped. I enjoy the heroes. I like I pretty much I kept trying to like undercut. I was gonna say I pretty like that hasn't worked. I really like the villains. I think Tamura's been worked really well. Going into the villain arc, one of the things that I said about him, I think I had it in one of my videos, and it was shortly before I stopped reviewing it, just because. I don't know. As much as I was enjoying what was going on, I wasn't as passionate about the series to really talk about it too much, and I didn't want to do videos where it just kind of felt like I was doing them for views. Anytime I do a video, I want it to be like legit, like I wanted to talk about something. I don't really like the idea of just like because then I just go back to reviewing One Piece, and I started at one point, and then I wasn't enjoying it, and I didn't want to come off as somebody who was just kind of like reviewing it to not like it. I don't really like that. The only time I've come back to review something that just made me mad was that chapter of Seven Deadly Sins when the boulder, was going to crush Elizabeth. That made me mad and I was upset, so that was the only reason I did that. But then after that, like, I was in like a pretty steady, like, up and down roller coaster with it. And I'm still hyped for the sequel. I still am interested in the sequel. I've got some hopes for it, and I still think overall I like Seven Deadly Sins. So, yeah, I still like My Hero. One of the things I was saying, when it comes to Tamura, the thing that I really liked that ended up happening with him was what I think needed to happen, and that was he comes off almost like a religious figure. Because to me, that was the thing that made All for One special in their world. It wasn't that he was powerful. It wasn't that I don't know how old he is. I think he's like what, like, I have to go look. I remember him like part of that quirk that lets him live longer. But with him, I think the thing that worked really well for him is the fact that he has almost this Messiah kind of like way he's set up. Because when you think about it in their world, you have I think it's 8 out of 10. I could be wrong. There's a percentage of people that don't have quirks. And so in that world, people don't have abilities, and you see all these guys with all these crazy powers that probably would bug you in some way. And so here's this guy who has the ability to give you a power. And as well as if you have a power, this guy could take your power if you piss him off. So he's almost like, he's almost like a superhero, like religious admin where he can just kind of like transfer abilities around. And that's when I was looking at Tamura, I'm like, he needs to have something that almost puts him really like a religious figure to the villains. And that's what we got. And I really liked that. I thought that was really good from Horikoshi. I've been enjoying the stuff recently too. I just in comparison, I don't like it as much as like a lot of the other ongoing Shonen Jump series right now. So there's supposed to be an announcement for next chapter. Wait, my cat is standing directly in the way of the of the chat box. Excuse me. There's supposed to be an announcement in the next chapter, 100 Years Quest for Eden Zero or Black Clover. In the next, so they tease in the next Eden Zero chapter there will be an announcement. So I think that's going to be the anime, because usually also when it comes to like weekly stuff and there being an anime, people have tracked it. It's usually around the 70s to like 100s, and we're at like 95 was I think the latest chapter, Eden Zero. So the next one, I'm guessing with the number and the fact they're like, hey, we got an announcement, there's likely an anime. Plus, Hiramashima said there was going to be a lot of announcements for his projects when it came to 2020. So we'll see. I'm hoping that if they do it, they get a good studio. And one of the things I think they need most when it comes to Eden Zero is they need to have people that are going to put a lot of emphasis on like the backgrounds and environments. Because I feel like when it comes to space stuff, what you can just do visually with like colors and stars and planets and stuff, that alone can have like a big impact on the series. Like the animation could be, fine. It doesn't have to be amazing. The thing that I think needs to have a lot of effort put into it when it comes to an Eden Zero anime is like the background environments. Personally, that's my opinion. When it comes to Fairy Tail, I suspect that there's an upcoming announcement just because the official Twitter account for the Fairy Tail anime has been active, and they retweeted something that like was an announcement that was going to happen. They got pushed back because of the Corona stuff. Aizen equals Eden Zero. Wait, you're saying greater than or equals Eden Zero? I'm looking at it and I see that mark. Endeavor is done for. Man, I'm hoping not. I like Endeavor. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions on Endeavor for obvious backstory reasons, but he's had a really good redemption arc, and I think he's done. I think Horikoshi's done a lot of really good writing, just building up his character. Okay, thanks, Jason, for the info. Okay, good. As long as people are doing stuff, no spoilers. Yeah, if I always worry about the, because generally a lot of people end up looking at like fan spoiler or fan translations. But I know there's also people that wait for the officials. So I'm really hoping that I'm really hoping I don't spoil people. The big announcement for Act Age was the stage play coming out in 2022. I mean, that's still pretty good. That's still actually pretty interesting. Like an anime. I feel like an anime is certain when it comes to Act Age. I know it's been doing really well. So we'll see. What chapter number is Act Age on? I actually don't know. I haven't started it yet. I know it's been out for about as long as Jujutsu Kaisen. I can actually I'll pull up Viz. I'll pull up Viz and look at their chapter number. As I think it's been around almost as long. I have no idea. I gotta start it at some point though. It looks really interesting. I really like the art style, and I think the series comes off as a very compelling. But I just haven't started acting. 113. Yeah, they should get it. Surprised they haven't already. Got a high school's enjoyable read. I'm not caught up. It's been a while since where I finished off. The main character was fighting some girl with purple hair, and it was like on some small planet. And that, from what I understand, that was right before like power levels started to get insane. So I'll come back to it at some point. Like it's definitely one of those ones I enjoyed because generally, and I don't mean this in a mean way. Generally, when I don't really get into a lot of webtoons, and it's not the art or anything. For me personally, it usually comes off as like because the main character always starts out really kind of like OP and broken, and like what's that series? No, I don't know if it's pronounced Noblesse or Noblesse. I think that was a good example because the main character was like busted stronger than everybody else from the start, but it had the parts that I liked about it was kind of like One Punch Man, where it was the comedy was definitely what worked for it really well. But when it came to like the main character, like it was like you can have some cool scenes, but as long as that main character is around, I don't really see a lot of tension. I don't know. I remember it being like there's also the size gap. I think it's like 400 chapters in the Noblesse before like a character shows up who's equal to the main character. So I don't know. I don't think it was a bad series. I enjoyed it. It was just took forever to get to like there being somebody to actually battle with the main character. So but I did like God of High School. So I'll get back to it eventually. I don't know why I've put it off for so long. Will the Fairy Tail 100 Years quest? Will the Fairy Tail 100 Years quest be weekly again? I don't currently know. So Mishima though has said that he's thinking about doing a continuation of the Heroes series, and I'd be willing to bet if he does that again, then he'll do like more weekly 100 Years quest chapters. Because the fact they're able to do it before means that the team that's on it is capable of it. Because Mishima, from what I understand, he does part of the work. Like I think he does like line art or something. I know he does the storyboard, and I think he does some of the line art, and then it's Ueda and his team that do the art for 100 Years Quest. So when we started, it made sense why it was 2 weeks. I don't imagine those guys were used to the weekly schedule, and Mishima being a monster who can just go crazy as he does when it comes to chapters. Probably intimidating when you have like new guys taking on a pretty big title from a guy who's known for like his just like absurd ability to like draw in large amounts in like shorter periods of time. So we'll see when it comes to that. Like I would like that to happen again. I think that'd be really cool if it's just like, yeah, once a year we get X amount of weeks where it's weekly again. I think that'd be really sick. It'd become like a little fairy tale holiday. Do you know when Fairy Tail 100 Years chapter 57? It'll be out on Tuesday. So it comes out in Japan so it's every 2 weeks. In Japan it comes out on that Wednesday. So in Japan it'll be out midnight on Wednesday, but for us when it's midnight in Japan for that day, it's like early morning to like early afternoon Tuesday. So it'll be out on Tuesday morning. I don't know if you're East Coast or West Coast or Midwest or whatever. Or I guess that's assuming you're American. You could be from anywhere. Either way, what's today? Saturday? So 3 days from now. 3 days from now, there'll be a chapter. Irene, the creator of Dragon Slaying Magic. Yeah, that's why I think she needs to have an important role. Because all the Dragon Gods are in their spots right now because of Acnologia. And Acnologia would have never gotten to his position. Or Acnologia's life would have also never gone to shit if it turned, if Irene never made Dragon Slaying Magic. So Irene, honestly, is actually like her character. I'm trying to think. I don't think her story ties into Zareth at all. I know it obviously ties into like Acnologia, and it ties into like a lot of the main cast for obvious reasons. But like she has a very big connecting point to the Dragon Gods, so that needs to happen. Money Girl comes out on the 3rd. Okay, yeah, I told them. So is it the 3rd? I actually don't remember what day it was. It comes out on the 3rd in Japan. The 2nd for I guess anyone around America's time zone. Sharon, he said Shiki and Jin didn't have a true overdrive. They have partial overdrive. They have that kind of like midway, kind of like how like you have like actual Dragon Force where it has more of like traits to your attribute, and then you have like the version that Natsu had against Jalal and Zero, where it's just the scales, and then obviously later when Natsu unlocked actual Dragon, like his true Dragon Force, his scales were red. He's got his fire horns, and then you have over like Wendy. She's got the pink hair and the feathers. Gajos is weird because they didn't seem like. I had to go back and look. I don't remember anything kind of special with his. So I mean, he had the black scales, but like I was expecting maybe he would have something. Maybe I missed something about that. I don't know. Oh my God, Gandor, get out of the way of the screen. Come on. I don't know what my cat is. Like, I don't know what's up with cats. They just really want to be in the way of specifically screens. Hey, quit it. Just leave tissues alone. Let's see. Can't wait for a new season of Fire Force. It's gonna be pretty hyped. I got sad because apparently the author, the Fire Force is in its last stage, and he said that this was gonna be his last manga. I'm hoping not. Maybe he'll go kind of like the ways of like Toriyama and stuff, and he'll do like short, like smaller series, or maybe he can go bi-weekly, kind of like Hiramashima. Not Hiramashima. Hiramashima is the weekly plus because he does other stuff, but. You know what I mean? Switching to that weekly or bi-weekly. I think the bi-weekly works really well for some of these guys. Probably want to do like rest, but want to keep doing manga. Because I know that was like a thing with Kubo. Like he said after he ended Bleach, like he just kind of got depressed because he was so used to like thinking about characters and fights and abilities and stuff. And then when he just didn't do that much anymore, it felt like an empty spot in his life. So I imagine when it comes to like a mangaka, like they're gonna like always want to do something involving manga for their life, unless you're kind of like Isayama, who's like, I'm gonna open a hot spring, because I know that's what he said he plans to do after Attack on Titan, is he wants to open up a hot spring. Honestly, I want to see Urza and Irene fight together. That'd be really cool. The next one that I'm hoping for, and I think we got good odds for it. I want the defeat of Metro to be a combined attack of Gajiel and Gray. And I know Juvia's there. I think Juvia will do something. I don't think Juvia will get a power-up or get anything kind of crazy. I don't think she needs one. I think she's fine the way she is. I think she can get stronger, but I think both Gray and Gajiel deserve... out of everybody in the main the guild right now, I think they deserve some form of upgrade the most. Gray, because we know Gray's reasons. He wants to become strong enough so he can feel like he can protect Juvia, so he can be with her. And I think Gajiel just deserves one. He hasn't got anything really in a long time. I know he got the Dragon Force against Bloodbin, but it was only temporary. I want to see like him get a boost, regardless of it's Dragon Force or if he gets an equal to Fire Dragon King mode. I don't know. Either way, I'm hoping he gets something. The way I see it in my mind is like Gajiel will, drop some big attack. Like he'll get some power up for him. He'll drop some big attack that will like cleave all of the wood golems just completely like in half. And Gray will take that advantage, like that opening point to attack Metro. Because Metro, similar to, what I believe similar to Doom, I think he's not very durable. I think he's more of a, he's obviously not going to be like a direct fighter. Because Doom was a caster. Doom was a caster. Metro is a summoner. And generally both of those casters can depend, but summoners generally are not very durable because their job is sending out their minions to attack and then figuring out different ways to do it. I am hoping he has more than just the one wood golem. I'm hoping maybe we get some different wood creatures from him. But out of them though, the one I've said it before, the one that I've got high hopes for is Gears. Gears better be impressive because Jalal hasn't gotten a one-on-one fight in forever, and he freaking deserves one, or even any real fights because. Well, in Alvarez, like, he had the short, barely even a fight, like, where it was August pretty much off-paneling him in Crime Sorcery, and then, him one-shotting Nineheart, I guess. That's relatively it. Let's see. Still, you can tell it's incomplete just by looking at it. It's like a pseudo-overdrive. It's that one step beforehand. How powerful do you think Georg in Diablo's Guild Master will be? I'm hoping he's around the strength level of like, the upper three Spriggan, kind of, somewhere around, like, Irene, August, and Larcade. because generally from what we've seen is the normal Diablos members are around Spriggan level, which is cool because now we can actually see them more in like, one-on-one fights, because previously like most of the Spriggan got taken out in group fights. So seeing them, go up against in some 1v1s I think will be really cool. And I for the way I kind of see it, it'll be the main kind of 3 of Diablos as like kind of like lower to mid Spriggan. Then you're gonna have some of like mid to upper Spriggan as like the Black Dragon Slayer cavalry, and then I think Georg will be in that tier like with August, Irina, and Larcade. Personally, I believe so. Otherwise, I would see him maybe kind of just like borderline there, but I don't know. I don't. There would have to be a pretty big gap unless the cavalry group is stronger than he is, or if he's part of the cavalry group. I agree with you on Yuno, 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's good. I think Yuno's in a good spot right now. My ultimate dream is after Eden 100 Years Quest anime, there's enough to demand achievement content. We get a Rave Master remake. I'm hoping so. I think it'd be really cool to get a Rave Master one, and especially because Rave Master's anime didn't finish. I would love to see it. I don't think they even... I don't know where the anime cut off. Like, I haven't watched the anime because it's so old, and I don't know. Whenever there's like an anime where it doesn't finish, it always bums me out, because then you think of like the parts that are really cool that you're not going to get to see animated. But like my favorite parts, probably my favorite part in Rave Master is the whole fight with Doryu, and I love that part. And I thought he was just such a really fun like villain to see. Like he had a pretty good backstory. It was fun to watch him just kind of like go crazy and stuff, and then have all his like darker stuff rolling around. But he was just all around enjoyable to just watch get more and more amped. I loved that. I thought that was great. And then just like Haru, when Haru went full out like light Chad warrior mode, that was fantastic. The last shot of Vanika's face was amazing. Oh, dude, my favorite part is Vanika's like blood creature. That thing looks super cool. I love that thing. So do you think Joe killed important to Wise? I'm guessing an older sibling. It's got to be... I'm guessing his mentor. Because the thing is that Wise is a scientist. Like, he's not like a super smart scientist. He seems to be kind of like more like a... I don't want to say like a gearhead. I think maybe like a space gearhead, because he's not like a genius. Like, he's one of those guys who just like, I just know this. Like, I'm not like this because I just looked at it and just figured it out. It's because I worked on it and got it all down. More kind of like somebody who works on cars. Like, you could be a master of cars, and to me they would sound like an astronaut. Like, I don't know shit about cars, but it doesn't mean they're like some genius. It just means that they're a master of their craft. I guess that's a genius, really, when you think about it. But anyway, you know what I mean. I hope that didn't come off as insulting in any way. If it makes you feel any better, anybody out there who's just like, can't believe you would say anything that might sound bad for people who like cars. You already got me beat when it comes to cars. I've tried. I don't know. It just doesn't stick in my head. I usually just will be like, let me just pay somebody who knows about cars professionally. I'll support their profession and their hard work. Let's see. We'll get a buff from Spade History. Ralph said there was a Spade History. It's only hope, but he also didn't want him to run off the fight the Triad. I'm hoping he figures out how to unlock the elf buff, and he could just use that at will. I want that to happen. Wise and Shinken are always under the radar. Wait, what? I don't know what that means, Sheridan. Asta versus Yuno before the 6-month time skip after the elf resurrection arc. I mean, really, I saw them as equal. I think Austin, at that point were equal. The only thing I thought that was different was had the elf buff. And if you give him the elf buff, I think he's stronger. But if you just keep them the way they are, I would say they're equal. And it would, I think for that their fight, it would really just come down to who can find openings in the other one. That sounded weird. Openings in the other one's combat style. Now I can't stop thinking about 2 huge dragons doing it. You gotta realize that Ignia came from somewhere. 100 Years Quest doesn't have any plot armor so far. That's what makes it better. Well, I don't think the original had really much for plot armor. I think some people just took some parts that too aggressively. Like, I think maybe like the closest one I would say when it came to Alvarez is, personally, in my opinion, I think it's Laxus's getting the red lightning because it wasn't foreshadowed. It wasn't like I've developed something over the time skip, kind of like he knew, and he just like, oh, I've got to unleash this thing, which I still think would have been bad if it was like, I have something up my sleeve, and then he just drops it then, and it's just what works. I think the way that they damage controlled it, like, not too long ago, I think that worked because it was more of like, yeah, it just kind of like it was a freak occurrence. I think that works better than, I think that works way better than, oh yeah, I had this and I just didn't really talk about it and I just pulled it out. That's one of the things I really liked about Natsu's, having the dragon tattoo, the Igneel tattoo, because it was cool to see like him have something like that, but then use it like shortly into the arc, and then you're like, well, what's he gonna do now? Like you were just expecting that to kind of like be used near the end when they defeat Zeref, but that wasn't the case. Some of the stuff I can kind of understand, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. Like Jubia getting healed, I think made perfect sense. You have the healer and someone who would be able to see it happen beforehand that would come help them. To me, that just makes perfect sense. With Gajil, I didn't think Gajil was actually going to die. I thought Juvia was going to die. I did not think Gajil was going to die, and I think the way that Gajil lived made sense with how Universe 1 works. Just trying to think of some characters off the top of my head. Laxus is the one that I'd kind of be like, kind of like a little iffy on. That one I could see criticism for, but I think they did some good damage control, in his fight with Urza when he kind of talked about how it just kind of happened, and then he honed it and learned how to control it. Zeref versus Acnologia versus all of Naruto. I'm probably going to go with Zeref. Zeref is so broken. Like, Acnologia is very powerful, and obviously his ability to like eat magic and stuff, and when you put them into the different series, and energies are going to equalize. Like, if you have two similar energies, you treat them as the same way. Like, obviously that's just how cross universe stuff works. It's like just a super general rule. So obviously he'd be able to eat certain jutsu, as well as Zeref would be able to absorb chakras and stuff. But when it comes down to it, Zeref is super broken. The only reason like we don't see like the full output of like how absurdly powerful he was is because he was always trying to be nicer to a lot of people, and then when it came to Natsu, he just like, he didn't want to use any of his hacks. He wanted just to have a good fight with him. When you really think about what Zeref is capable of, he's way more broken. And especially like, specifically, it's stated that he mastered black magic. So any black magic in Fairy Tail he should have, which includes that one girl, Mary, from Avatar. Her ability, like her virus that she, like, it's a flesh-eating virus she can directly put into your brain. Like, if Zeref can do that, like, then, like, he's going to be completely mopping the floor with tons of characters. Even, like, stuff where if there's a giant power level gap, that's not going to matter against, like, a flesh-eating virus directly put into your freaking brain. That is a absurd hacks. And it was funny that they put it on, like, a fodder character, but because of, like, what we know about Zeref, it ends up also going to him, and he's busted as fuck. So, give me your top three current favorite running shonen. Really, it's Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black Clover. Probably a runner-up is either Jujutsu Kaisen or Chainsaw Man. It's pretty easy. The three that I definitely talk about the most are Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Black Clover. I very much expressed my love for all three of them. We need more Jerza moments. We'll probably get some up and coming with the stuff with Jalal. Maybe at least some Jalal stuff. Like maybe we'll get some Jalal like acknowledging Urza and whatnot. The fact that Jalal seems to assume Gears is the one that hurt Urza, or at least have like this like, suspicion in his head, we might see pissed off Jalal again, which I'm super hyped about. We haven't I love enraged Jalal. That was such a sick moment when he beat Nineheart. And he's like, I have to bring one more sin onto my soul. And then you see, like, the sky opening up, and then just the night sky enveloped, like, horizon to horizon. And magic is just kind of, like, radiating off his body. And you have that zoom in of just him pissed off. That was sick. And watching Nineheart, because Nineheart, even though Nineheart is, he wasn't durable. Like I said, he's a summoner. He's not supposed to. Generally, they're not durable. Lucy's an exception because of the way that Lucy fought. She ended up taking a lot of hits. She became more durable in the process. Nineheart was a more classical summoner. He sends in his summons. He can attack from range, and he keeps distance from his opponents. But he's still really powerful. He's still a Spriggan. And the fact he's looking into Jalal's magic and like disbelief was really impressive. That was super, super cool. I love that part. How strong do you think Shiki will be compared to Natsu? I talked about it a little bit before. I'm hoping the big power level stuff in Eden Zero is more towards their ships. I'm hoping when it comes to like their abilities, they go more hacks when it comes to their ether gear, and I'm hoping their ships are like where big damage comes out. Like anytime that it's like, oh, we got to get crazy and do some like big attacks, show some big damage. I want it to be their ships, and one of the reasons I want that, and I'm not picking on One Piece or anything for this, is One Piece's power level scaled so far beyond any of the ships in their series. There's not really much of a way to do naval battles. I think the only way you could do it is with that. Which one was it? Because I know there's the 3 super weapons. Is it Pluto? I think Pluto is the super ship that Crocodile wanted, and I could see it with that one. But generally, like a lot of the ships, like they're not even close. Like Oda himself said he can't really have it because the people on the ships are way more powerful than the ships themselves. So I'm hoping when Eden Zero power levels, like if Hiroshima wants to get him kind of crazy, like what he did, like end Rave Master and end Fairy Tail, he does it with the ships. That's my personal opinion. If he goes crazy with Ether Gear power levels, that's fine too. I'm just giving my personal 2 cents on it. Let's see. I already read that. I think Noelle is going to have more version of her transformation like her mermaid form. I'm hoping so. It's water, so it should be super flexible. Like, we should easily be able to get, like, variations of her form. Jero is Android 20. Man, that was a while ago, but thank you. I gotta get caught up. I'm probably way behind. Let me see. What if after 100 years, Quest Wendy wish is to revive Irene? Well, it's not that she has to revive her. They have to get a body in order to put her put her personality inside. But I don't even think they need that because, oh my god, what are their names? Juliet and Haynes. I'm trying to remember their name. Like the two minions for Irene's crew. They were just swords. Like, she used magic to craft bodies for them out of swords. So, I mean, really, she can probably just straight take an object and then enchant it with enough magic to give it a physical shape. Like, for real. So, let's see. Jiro's 20. Yeah, Kenmana's crazy. Always going with the heavy with the super chats. Hey, he's wild. Spawning Nocto. His video will be double even though he says a few BS things. See, I'm gonna end up finding those, and I'm just gonna have to give my 2 cents on them. So that'll probably be what ends up taking a bulk out of my comments of like in the video. I'll probably get like parts where I agree, and I'll be like, we'll talk about it. I'll be like, yeah, cool, yeah, these things and these things, and then I'll get to like a part that I don't agree with, and I'll just be like, okay, gotta take a deep breath before I approach this one, and then I will get to it. So. Let's see. The sound effects is quite. The sound effects is quiet. Okay, I'll have to look. I might have it turned down for desktop settings. So, yeah, it definitely is. Let me up it. There we go. Sorry if you guys didn't hear it. So, any further sound effects from super chats or donations should go off just fine. And you want to test it out, throw $1. You'll hear it. But anyway. You don't have to. Any donations are appreciated. Nothing is required. Always know that. And any donations are completely optional by the donor. I don't ever want to make it feel like I pressure anybody to do anything for me like that. Video is really good. He defends the hell of the series. Well, that's good. I'll definitely be happy to see the more positive side of things. But when I get to the negative side, like any of the negative stuff, even if it's not like hate negative, if it's just kind of like something that I don't really agree with, I'll be like, shit, I gotta get on this right now. Let's do this. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Let's see. I can't wait for that video. Yeah, I'll record it tonight. I don't have. Tomorrow's obviously Sunday, so I don't work tomorrow. So I will. I'll work on it after the stream. Well, I'll do a whole video on it. It'll probably, because I think his video is like 40-something minutes. So it's going to be like an hour and a half, like for real. And it's going to be one big-ass video. I'll probably upload it Tuesday, maybe Tuesday. Maybe it might be Wednesday, actually. Because tomorrow will be half of the Viz chapters. Monday will be the other half. Tuesday we'll have the next Black Clover chapter prediction, and then I'll obviously have the Fairy Tail and probably Eden Zero reviews. And then Wednesday, I think Wednesday is when I'll upload it. Just because I always want to have like a spread out to try and keep content at a good set, so you guys can, so it feels like I'm paying attention and not just kind of like dumping stuff all in one day. Not like that day I accidentally uploaded 6 videos at once. Sorry. Let's see. It's a really good video. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just, it's been so long, and I knew that if I did a reaction to it, it's gonna be probably around twice the length of his video. 5 Dragon Gods and Yonkos have similarities and things in common. You think so? I don't really think so. What do they have in common with the Yonkos? Matias Pinto, exactly. What do you mean by that? I don't know if I understand that one. Well, the thing is, he never talks about the ending of Fairy Tail. He did it before the ending of the anime, as he never states if he reads the manga. Really? For real? He never talks about the ending. That's weird. I know a lot of people were indifferent about the ending. I had this really weird outlook when it ended, because I've never been a huge fan of series that end on cliffhangers like that. And I was like, maybe the anime will continue something. Let's keep fingers crossed. Come on. And then, what was it? I'm trying to think. It was, oh my God, when was it in terms of the release? I'm trying to think, because I think it was a year. But I don't remember when. I think it was a year between ending of Fairy Tail to the release of 100 Years Quest. I'm trying to remember when the announcement came out for 100 Years Quest. I think it was right after Eden Zero got its poster. So that was probably like, I think like 2 or 3 months before 100 Years Quest, like chapter 1 came out. I'd have to go back and look. But I was super indifferent about it at the time, because I was just like, I'm not sure if this is the ending. I don't really know what to like take of this. I don't know. I've always kind of disliked it when things end on a cliffhanger and don't at least give you like a wrap up. Don't at least give you like, oh yeah, this is what happened with these characters, blah blah blah. Just because then I'm just like, I can't just forever be curious. Like, it would be weird if you never found out like what happens with like Juvie and Gray and stuff. What happens with Gajiel and Levi? What happens with Urza and Jalal? It was always a weird thing about that. I'm glad we ended up getting it. So there's at least that. I really enjoyed My Hero. That's good. As long as people enjoy it, that's what's good. Gojo or Makima. I mean, right now, Gojo, in terms of just what he's shown, like Satoru is shown way more. I'd be willing to put, like, if I was a betting man though, I'd put my money on Makima. Makima just comes off as like a complete monster. She's so powerful, and like she's pretty absurd. Like, she's a very, very strong character. Like, and the fact on top of that, she's very intelligent. She's very tactical, and her level of ability clearly just extends outside of just one contract. She's clearly got multiple. She's clearly got a lot going on. We just got to figure out like what exactly it is. What exactly about her that is like such a crazy deal. And the fact that she like went kind of toe to toe with the Darkness Devil, which was pretty wild. She's got to be pretty big. One second, I got to type something. I was just replying to somebody. I don't know if you guys can hear my loud ass keyboard. Okay, there we go. I just had to type something out. Though, let me get some of these comments. I'm wondering how far back I am when it comes to like the very bottom of the comments. Started My Hero Academia. Love it. That's good. I like it. I just don't love it as much as like a lot of the other current running Shonen Jump stuff. There's a lot of stuff I really enjoy. Unfortunately for My Hero, it's not as much right now as like as I almost said My Hero, as Black Clover, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. This is stuff that isn't it me. Been doing good. 10 episode a day. You're watching 10 episodes of something a day. Jeez. What's up, Lewis, man? How are you? I honestly would like to see Urza and Irene fight together. Oh, I read that. I am pretty hyped about that. I would like to see that. All for One is the devil. Yeah, I think the way that Horikoshi depicts him is really well. I can see the White Mage trying to get revenge on Celine in her own way. I'm hoping so. That's why I think that I personally think that she is I think she's gonna end up being more like of a member eventually of the Fairy Tale Guild. I think she's gonna end up being like sort of a villain that joins the cast, but not like she's there to make friends. More of like we both have a sort of common goal. We can work together, and but obviously her style is not going to mesh well with them at all. Like she's definitely not like a fairy tale spirited character like in the guild. She's definitely much more of a malefic individual. So we'll see. We'll see how it be. It'll be a little bit, but it'll drop down at some point. Let's see, Fire Force or My Hero. It's kind of a hard one. I think I'd lean a little bit more towards My Hero. I'm more interested in the mystery for in Fire Force because the latest couple chapters have a lot of really wild stuff. I think the overall plot of Fire Force is more interesting, but I think I like the overall characters of My Hero Academia more than Fire Force. Fire Force is on its last arc, right? Yeah, that's what the manga apparently said. Man, I completely forgot that Eden Zero. I stopped reading it like chapter 26. Man, you should get back to it. It's really good. Let's see. Have you watched Avatar: Last Airbender? Just finished. I've watched it multiple times. I haven't finished my rewatch. Obviously, it just came on Netflix. I'm almost finished with season 1. I just keep getting distracted by stuff. I keep getting distracted by watching like Asmongold videos and his crazy the drama. If you don't know who Asmongold is, he's like this big World of Warcraft guy, and because of the WoW Classic, like he was doing a lot of stuff like that, and the drama that happens in that is crazy. Like the drama that happens in some of those, it's funny because from what I've seen, like it's all in the Alliance. Like that, I don't know if I've ever had like I play Horde, so I don't think that I've ever had any drama like that, like ever. I've been playing the game since like 2008, 2007. Never had anything like that, but that's like regular for him. It's pretty crazy. My friends with Iron Nancy, I talk to him sometimes. I've talked to him a couple times. Moore's been a great character. He may be a favorite by the end of the series if done well. I think he's pretty good too. Thoughts on Demon Slayer doing what? Oh my, yeah, Demon Slayer's, like, Kimetsu no Yaiba's numbers are fucking insane. It's fucking insane. What? 1 second. One second. Some people are talking shit. Where was I? Tower God is great. I need to get caught up with Tower God. I got to like 40 chapters in, but it was one of those things that I always was like, I need to read that because it always looked really cool. Like I saw that one dude. Every time I saw that, what the guy has the back tattoo, Mizuno, I think is his name or something. He looks really cool. And then the anime came out, and I'm like, I should just watch the anime, and then I can talk about it. But I don't know, because if I read the manga's gonna take forever to catch up. Oh my god, I'm gonna leave. People are bugging me. I'm gonna leave this. People added me to a freaking a chat I don't want to be in. Who is this anyway? I have no idea who this is. I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to be in this. Hold on 1 second. These guys added me some chat to talk shit. I'm just gonna tell them like, listen, I don't want to talk about this. Leave me alone. Uh, there we go. Best great. Where was I? Fish Ushu and Tora. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of that. I'll have to look into it. You should read Hardcore Leveling Warrior. It's a great webtoon. I've heard it's good. I know Fades talks about it a lot on Twitter, so I'll have to look at it. Lee Sujin is the purple-haired character. Oh, the girl in God of High School. I'll have to look into it. I'll probably just pick up where I left off. I think I remember most of the stuff beforehand. Probably not. Saddest Eden Zero moment. The saddest Eden Zero moment is the stuff with Valkyrie. For sure. Hunter's Quest Max with Enchantment Amps versus Tartar Sark Natsu. Perfectly honest, it's probably Max. Because Natsu at that point couldn't control Dragon Force. He only had Lightning Flame Dragon mode. And Max buffed by Wendy and trained by Agil, I'd be willing to say is stronger than Natsu at that time. Not including Dragon Force. Dragon Force is probably stronger. Shiki's crew versus Luffy's crew pre-time skip. In power, in a fight, Shiki's crew would definitely win. They've got way more going on. Way more going on. Vanica versus Lolo in a real fight in the heart. I don't really see what Lolo. I don't think she's at least so far. I don't think she's an offensive character. I think she's more of a big support and AOE style, and AOE support. I don't think she's. I don't think she's gonna have big attacks. As far as we've seen. I'm just gonna leave this conversation. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this chat. I don't want to deal with these guys right now. Gajil versus Kenpachi. I'm gonna go with Kenpachi. And as much as I love Gajil, and I think Gajil's better written than Kenpachi, the gap between what he can do and what Kenpachi can do is Gajil doesn't have really much of a crazy hacks right now. All of them seem to have something really good right now. Gajil, that's one of the reasons I think Gajil really deserves an upgrade. And when it comes to Kenpachi was definitely really powerful. And his Bankai, when he says he can cut anything, that doesn't mean anything ever, but it did show it can cut space, that little space pocket that Gremmy made. So he's definitely got spatial cutting. So it'd be very dangerous for Gajil to fight him, because Gajil's biggest thing is that he's super durable, and that's kind of out the window when it comes to spatial cutting. What did the fight against Jalal versus Gears? I'm hyped for that one. I think that's going to be a really good one. I've got more hope for. When it comes to Doom, Doom was a caster, and he was kind of the silly one. So him going down in one chapter, a chapter and a half, I was just okay, sure. And I actually really liked the way that it was done, so I was okay with it. When it comes to Metro, I feel like I can, that the way that I describe Metro will delude how it'll be, but who knows. And then with Gears, I have some expectations for Gears, because it's it's a 1v1, it's not a group fight, and two, it's against Jalal, so it's a 1v1 against a really powerful character like Jalal, so it's gonna have to have a really well displayed out fight. And I feel like when it comes to Jalal, it's gotta impress. Jalal's a very liked character. I think that it needs to happen. Okay. So, just my opinion on that. Let's see. What's up, JK Network? How's it going? I don't know, Jason. I don't think Gajil can take Kenpachi currently, at least. Maybe he'll beat him after he gets a power up, but I don't know about currently. Last time Jalal got a 1v1 was against Natsu. Yeah, wait, let me think. He sort of had a 1v1 against Midnight, but he didn't really have control over his magic at the time, and he lost. Didn't do anything, obviously, in Edelist. Didn't do anything. He didn't really have anything in the Grand Magic Games or Sirius Island. Yeah, in terms of a 1v1, he had to fight against the members of Arasion Sace, but that wasn't a 1v1. It was still a group fight. Any form of a real Jalal fight. If you count a real Jalal fight, it was against Arasion Sace, because His fight with August wasn't really a fight, and his fight with Nineheart was just him giving Nineheart the hand, like not the hands, I guess, the spells, the stars, and it ended up defeating him. So I don't know. I could kind of see it more going. I don't know. I think this 1v1 with Gears will pay off. I think it'll be a really good one. If they beat Metro, like I think when they get to like range to hurt Metro, I think it'll be good, like an easy way to defeat him because I don't think he's very durable. I think Gears is. If Gears is supposed to be like this really like big tactical fighter, then I feel like he's used to like getting hit and probably like thinking on his feet. And if he's fighting Jalal, like he's fighting a really rounded character. Like Jalal isn't like some scrub with like 2 spells. Like he's a super rounded wizard. He's got a lot of different kinds of magic of all different varieties. I think it's going to be Shiki, Wise, more. That many against Drac and Joe? I mean, possibly, but we'll see. That'll be really cool if it's literally just like the whole crew. That was not at me. With Drac and Joe's feet so far, I think he's stronger than Phantom Lord Arcagil. I could see it. I mean, his thing is clearly that like his biggest thing is the flexibility of his power, like how much he, like its level of range of like ability and usage. Like he can just convert shit like right on the spot with his alchemy. Let's see. Joe is shaping up to be my favorite hero Mishima, to be my favorite Mishima antagonist so far. He's definitely really cool. My opinion on like his ranking, I think, will depend on whether or not he's going to be a one arc bad guy or if he's going to be a reoccurring character. Because generally, I think Hiromishima's best characters are long running ones: Acnologia, Zareth, Lucia. Mardgear is an exception to me, and I would talk about one of the reasons why I think Mardgear is like as excellent as he is. I'm saving for the Mardgear video because there was some stuff I thought about when it came to Tartaros that I think will be really cool to talk about on the discussion video when we get to it, like when we get to it in the reread. Which reminds me, I gotta do the reread of the next parts for Black Clover and Fairy Tail. The next part's gonna be for Fairy Tail. It'll be Lucy joining the guild, going through. Joining the guild and going through Everloo, and then like Everloo's mansion, and then for Black Clover it'll be joining the Black Bulls and probably the initiation, and then after that it'll probably be like actually I'll probably like read up through because I think Everloo's is a couple it's a couple chapters, not like one. I'll probably do Lucy joining the guild up until up through Everloo, and then Asta joining the Black Bulls up until the dungeon arc, and then it'll be like Galuna Island and the dungeon arc, or sorry, Lullaby in the dungeon arc, and then like Galuna Island and the capital invasion and stuff. And I'm trying to keep it well paced. Obviously, Fairy Tail's gonna end up outpacing the hell out of Black Clover because it's got more than twice the content. But I'd like to keep it around like around set with each other, and it's gonna be fun when I get to like the bigger ones that are Elf Resurrection arc, Tartarus, and Alvarez, where they're massive amounts of chapters in them. So it's going to take me a while to kind of just get stuff all set up. Rave Master, we should finish on the Symphonia arc. Oh, okay, that's still before Doryu though. Goku versus Jin Mori. Mori Jin. Why don't I say Jin Mori? I don't know how powerful he is. I know he can do clones and stuff, but I'm not too sure how crazy he is. How strong do you think Victor is? Undead Unluck. Well, we gotta see like their power level ceiling. We haven't even seen like what a big character really is capable of in their world, and we don't know whether or not like if he's like top ranked or what. There's still a lot of mystery in there. It's kind of like with Eden Zero trying to gauge like high end power level stuff with Eden Zero. We don't know. Asta versus Luffy. Right now I'd probably go with Luffy because Asta. The thing about it is that it would be kind of like hard for Asta. Is Asta's he's still going to be able to hit Luffy and do some damage, and his swords do more blunt force though, and that's not going to be very good for well, I guess Black Divider is shown just to slice through shit. So Black Divider definitely I think would be a danger to Luffy, but I don't think his swords generally, and obviously the biggest thing about Asta that it's so useful in the Black Clover world is because people have mana skin, and that's how they buff the resistances, they make their body stronger to take hits. Asta's swords, when they hit, they're going to just nope that shit and then just deal direct damage. That's not going to work against Luffy because Luffy's, his structure is very different. It's kind of like the Fairy Tail's structure is different. Like unless Asta stabbed them, I don't think the hits would be nearly as effective as it would in the Black Clover world. Just because the way that their bodies are buffed by magic is different. Black Clover's is more of like on the outside. They're putting their magic layered on their body, whereas Fairy Tail generally their magic is it's literally fueling their body, like just being alive and having stamina and moving your limbs and stuff and physical strength and whatnot. Because that's how the wizards in their world work. Like they need magic because their body's dependent on it. That's how they can die from they don't have magic. They have magic deficiency. Should get runes, improve his mana zone, because mana zone seems to be different variations like Yami's and Lolo's. Actually, I was thinking about recently I've won that part when right before Xenon attacks that square or that box, I guess, that cube. If that's his mana zone, like is his going to end up being like cubic like that? And I like that. I do like that Tabata's been making the mana zones different. It's not just like you get a bubble around you. There's different shapes. I was hoping that Yami's was going to be more of like when he had Equinox. It was like, well, maybe he'll have like the two variations. Maybe he has the Black Moon one for just kind of like AoE defense. And I'm hoping when it comes to like an offensive version, and I know we saw some of it. I'm hoping for like Dimension Slash when he uses Equinox again. His mana zone changes where it's like a thin corridor. And it's literally just like it's made to make his slash longer. I think that would be really cool. And I think it would look more neat, and it would give it would give mana zones like an extra level of uniqueness to them. You see Amira being an actual ally to the crew in the future, or she'll just be neutral. I think she's gonna be like an in and out character. What do you think about Lax vs. Shalal? So that's a hard one, but I've given this one thought. I've talked about it. I think it's the longest running like fan fight idea within the series. I think it would be Jalal, and the reason I think it'd be Jalal is Jalal has a much larger arsenal of magic, and Jalal's meteor has been consistently shown and depicted as faster than Laxus's like lightning body. When he, remember back when he had the lightning body, and then when he had the dragon lightning cloak that he has, just coating himself in lightning and moving around. Jalal has always been depicted as being faster on top of that, just from what I've seen, and just my opinion. Though, obviously, right now, Jalal has Red Lightning Dragon mode. I'm going to wait a little bit, because I want to do a video on it, but I want to wait until after the Gears fight so we can see, like, if Jalal busts out something new and what he's going to, bring to the table. Because even though I think Jalal is stronger right now, the Red Lightning Dragon mode is actually still really useful because he's pretty much a berserker. He's going to keep making himself stronger the more damage he takes because, he's pretty much powering himself by infusing blood into his lightning, and then, more damage, more blood makes himself stronger. Fairy Tail needs more specific characters, orientated light novels or spinoffs, kind of like how Naruto did. Well, they had them. There was like the Rhodonite one for Gajil. You had the Twin Dragons, the Sabretooth for Sting and Rogue. You had the Thunder Legion for Laxus and his crew. There's a couple. It's just I just don't think they're as advertised as like stuff like the ones for Naruto. Like when a Naruto novel like it would come out, it'd be like people would just talk about it and get all over the place. Oh, Zeref and Acnologia? Where did I miss it? Let me see. Did I miss your... Oh, Zeref and Acnologia? Oh, that's what I said, but I was talking about them specifically, like where I would rank them specifically against... what do you say? I think you said it was One Piece? Or no, you said Naruto. Yeah, I think they would clear. Since there's a younger Drac and Joe on Norma, if the current one... Oh, wait, what? There's a... would he still be on Norma? No, he wouldn't be on Norma, because... they went back 1,500 years. I don't think he originated from Norma. And they said that if you were on Norma when it got reversed, or if you weren't, if it reversed and you didn't originate from that planet, you pretty much were erased. I don't think that Drac and Joe, there'll be another one. Unless you think, was it stated that he is from Norma? I don't think so. Or not Norma, Gilst. Sorry, Gilst. Let me go back and look at that then. So let me reread that. Since there's a younger Drac Joe, Norma, if the current one dies, he still has to Drac Joe again. Stuck on Norma. I could see that. That'd be really cool. Like maybe if we see them run into a younger one, and maybe the younger one joins the crew, that'd be really cool. That'd be badass. That'd be super cool. It's like Shiki beats somebody, and he's like, all right, now we just got to figure out where they were at this point. Get a chronophage to go there, eat the time, and then make a new friend. That'd be awesome. What if a Black Clover character had black magic similar to Zeref? Well, then he'd become super. He'd be way OP. Well, black magic is like a spectrum of different kinds of magic. They're just all referred to as black. They're like under the branch of black magic. Like, there's like forbidden magic or lost magic, and then you have curses and stuff. Let's see. Should not get runes. I don't think he needs runes. I think he needs to master spirit magic too. We need more Jalal stuff in general. I agree. Jalal cold-heartedly engaged, made that 7 stars, bring judgment upon you. I want to see more of that. And plus his spells are all numbered. Like, he's got 7 stars. What was it? The 6? Was it Pleiades? How it's pronounced? It's 6 of them. And then the swords. It was either 8 or 9 lightning swords, stuff like that. Maybe drop some more numbered spells, which always was funny because like Kiramashima's number 7, and then you have a lot of them have like a number 7 attack. Like you had like Gray has a 7 slice dance. Jalal has Grand Chariot, which is 7 stars. I hope Nightheart brings back Marred Gear in 100 Years Quest. I would love that. I would love that so much. I love Marred Gear. I really want to see Wise Overdrive. The other Overdrives are going to be really cool. I'm stoked to see Overdrive. It's just such a cool concept. I mean, in terms of like getting the forms and like buffing her abilities. I mean, like I don't think there's been anything kind of crazy outside of that, but I still think it's really cool. And I like that they're all going to have their own original forms as they progress their Ether Gears. Zeref versus Yacht. People are getting mad at me, but I think it'd be Zeref. Do you think which right now is stronger than Shiki? Yes, I do. I think she's stronger right now. Will Ian D return for 100 Years Quest? He sort of is. I don't know. Are you caught up with 100 Years Quest? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Shamik? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Because he's still kind of in it. His video is a little over an hour long. Oh, man, it's going to be like a 2-hour video. Come on. I'll do it, but it's going to be long, just so you know. Shiki versus Bakugo. Shiki would body Bakugo. Are you kidding? Who do you think is a better overall criminal leader, Draken Joe or Overhaul? I would go with Draken Joe. He's got a way bigger criminal empire. Way bigger. I might be wrong. I might be wrong about him not reading the manga. It's been a while since I watched it. Well, I'll see. I'll watch it soon. No, he definitely said he hadn't read the manga. Oh, man. Doubt he's read 100 Years Quest. Yeah, I doubt that. How far do you think? So, I'll have to be at least, if he hasn't read 100 Years Quest, I'll have to be a little lenient if there's anything that maybe gets answered, or if there's anything that he misses, because it seems like he's more of like a casual fan rather than somebody who's like way more heavy into it. How about do you think Draken Joe can get in Fairy Tail currently in terms of who he can beat? Well, we gotta see more of like his overall damage output, because he's got a pretty hacks power, but I don't think I wouldn't even put him at like Wizard Saint level right now. I think he'd still be pretty strong. Like maybe like a big opponent like maybe somewhere around like Fighting Festival Arcalaxis, maybe something like that. But nothing crazy, but still considerable. I think most of his stuff would be the fact that he's got a really broken power. Still 90% of the video is unadulterated facts. Well, we'll find out soon. I think Draken Joe could fight Zero from Fairy Tail. I mean, with his hacks, I think Zero, like, if Zero Lion sits, like, as far as we know right now, Draken Joe isn't, like, super durable. We don't know. Well, he definitely is durable with the way that he shifts his body. But I mean in terms of his stats. The thing about Zero is Zero fought a Dragon Force form Natsu that was stronger. It was further progressed than the one that Natsu fought Jalal. So he was taking big attacks constantly and not even feeling them and like parrying them as shit. I think that Zero would body the hell out of Draken Joe. At least currently. Maybe when he shows like his full seriousness, he'll be way more powerful. Zero destroyed you. Yeah, I agree. How much of a fight do you think Homura can give Jin? Probably around half. Because right now, like the whole upgrade thing is like what would be dangerous for her. Because obviously he's got that like step before overdrive, so I think he's definitely more powerful than her. I think we can all agree with that. He can be a far into dimension that potentially. I don't think it erases your existence just from like what it seemed. I think what it did is it numbs your mind and you just kind of go blank. Because like Natsu was talking about. I had to go back and look, but he was talking about his senses and I think the way he was thinking. Yep, hear it all. Okay. Unless Spider's planetary statement is accurate, then Joe can beat a lot of Fairy Tail characters. I mean, I don't think so. Because right now what we've seen, like the power levels aren't crazy like that, and character statements only really work if there's stuff to back it up. If his ship is capable of destroying a planet, then yeah, I'd believe that. Just because that's not his power level, that has to do with, this big, massive warship that he's got. Yeah, Abyss is the reason I said he could fight. Zero, wait, but Brain, he could beat. He could probably beat Brain. I mean, Brain didn't have really anything impressive. What's your opinions on recent chapter of the BC manga? I was hyped for it. I really liked it. I really liked the spell for Vonica. I just want to say, I got Vonica and Dante's magics right. Just putting that out there. I'm waiting for it to reveal that I was right about Magnitude, and he comes back strapped up with magic tools. Who do you think? What do you think? What do you think of Hero originally not wanting to write 100 Years Quest? That would have been weird. That would have been like in a weird question of like, is it canon or not? I don't know. Do I read Saint Seiya? Saint Seiya is one of those ones also that I've always really wanted to get into, but I've never got into it for some reason. Maybe I'll read it soon, because I know it's good. I don't doubt that it's good. I just have not got around to it. It looks really interesting. There was that one feat I thought was really badass, just in the way that it sounds. They were talking about, like, this guy's fist, like, he got to his speed beyond, like, the amount of, like, how fast the universe expands, so he got past the universal expansion levels of speed. I thought that was just a really cool way to describe it. Fun feats like that, the way they describe it and depict it, I always think is just really cool. Even if it's like not that powerful, if it's displayed really well, I think it's like just as good as like something that's kind of like, oh, he's throwing planets at him. So seeing as how easily Wendy separated the White Witch and Toka with Irene's powers, do you think Irene herself could easily have handled the White Witch? If she lands her separation thing, I think part of the reason is that the White Witch didn't take... I don't think she took her as seriously, Wendy as seriously as she would Irene. But the question would be is, like, once she's separated, what's going to happen? Like, why does she need a body? Because clearly she's got a body once separated. Does she need it for, like... I don't really know. Like, I can't even think of what reason, at least currently. We just know that there's some certain reason that she took over and Exceed. Like, it was hinted at. We just don't know what it is yet. Let's see. And a fight where Irene and Urza team up would be a beast moment. I think that'd be cool. I think personally it'd be cooler if Irene teamed up with Wendy, just because Wendy and Irene now are kind of like master and student, and I think like the dual enchantress thing would be really cool. And plus they're both dragon slayers. I mean, obviously Urza and Irene, mother daughter, but I don't know. I personally think it'd be cooler if it was Irene and Wendy. How strong do you think Victor and Undead Unluck is? Like I said, I don't know. The power level ceiling is probably like really weird with that right now. Definitely, he's got to be powerful, like this level of regeneration. These guys all have to be considerably strong based off of their occupation. Mora versus Ikaruga. I'd probably go with Ikaruga currently. Kroger should be in 100 Years Quest. I mean, I don't know what she would do. I like her, but I don't really... There's a lot of characters I enjoy, but like they couldn't really be in 100 Years Quest. Like, the only thing that they could maybe do is if you brought characters in... If, like, Ignia, like, maybe in his city, it's like a coliseum, and, like, before they fight him, they have to do, like, a gladiator-style tournament, and, some of the characters fight the lower guys. You send in, like, oh, I'll pick your guy to fight my guy, and you have, like, Kagura fight somebody that's maybe, like, somebody strong, but obviously, like, it can't be dragon god related. Like, even though Doom went down like in like a chapter and a half, I still agree of how he went down being understandable. You still had to set it up so it made sense of why Max would be able to take down Doom, and the buff plus the agile training makes sense. Kagura, at least right now, maybe Kagura will end up being way stronger. Maybe she's been practicing with Urza constantly in the last year, and she'll be like low Spriggan level or something. But as of right now, I don't really know what she would do. Have you read the Funimation leaks of Dragon Ball? No, I haven't. What are they going to do an anime soon? I know people have been waiting on that for, 2-3 years? Do you think we will get another Fairy Tail series after 100 Years Quest? Maybe. The thing is, right now, we still have Ankh Saram potentially in the wait. So that is a spot that we could get, is Ankh Saram. Because he's still somebody who's logically stronger than the Dragon Gods, the White Witch, Diablos. We just haven't gotten to him yet. Is Irene really dead? Explain the purse. So she is dead. So it's kind of like how her two minions, they were never really alive. She enchanted personalities into the weapons. So the weapons kind of became the way that she kind of designed them to be. And she did the same thing with Wendy by pretty much enchanting her own persona. She essentially made a copy of how like her mind is and thinks and put it in Wendy. I think that's just the easiest way to kind of describe it. She made a copy of herself and put it inside Wendy. So it's not really Irene, but it sort of is. That's why she doesn't have any of her magic. And I'm curious to know, like, what is she going to do, like, when she gets her body? Is she going to have, like, an idea of how to get her magic back? Maybe that's what she's going to do to Celine. Like, she wants a drainer to get her stuff. I don't know. Unrated Tower God 2, with number of chapters. Oh, there's a lot of chapters. Will you ever make a How Strong is Natsu video at some point? Probably. Maybe soon. Like, I've been wanting to wait and see if he got, like, any considerable boosts on his own. But I think I can do one of just Natsu. Honestly, I think Urza will be happy if Irene were back. I think it'd be kind of like more of an awkward kind of spot. Because she was kind of the reason why her mom died. Urza's reaction to Jalal after Gears fight, the whole strip thing. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing the character interactions. Because I really do like the Urza and Jalal interactions. Because Urza's really, like, she always comes off as very stoic, very powerful person. And I like seeing the more human sides whenever Jalal's around. I hope Gajo can use Dragon Force on command. I want either Dragon Force or an equal to Fire Dragon King mode, like Iron Dragon King mode, or maybe instead of King, it's like Emperor or Tyrant or something. After Shiki, who do you think will get True Overdrive first? Jin, Wise, Hamura, or Rebecca? Jin. Jin, and then probably Hamura, and then Wise, and then Rebecca. I think Hamura will need it before Wise, because Wise's power is also super flexible, and I don't think he'll need that big of a boost until then. Maybe he'll get, like, the pseudo overdrive this fight, but I don't think he'll get a full one for a while. Gajo's intangibility, how does Kenpachi counter it? By cutting him. Kenpachi could cut space, so he's got spatial cutting, so he should be able to hit somebody who's intangible. Do you think they nerfed Urza in 100 Years Quest, making it so she can only fight Dragon Slayers with Winnie's enchantment? Well, no, she can only fight Dragon Slayers with Winnie's enchantment, or not Dragon Slayer. She can only hurt dragons. She could still damage Kyria. It's just that with the Dragon Slayer buff, she had a stronger sword. So she just it was just a more powerful sword than her normal one, which I thought was cool. She pretty much had a lightsaber. Law versus Jalal. Jalal would body the living shit out of Jalal. Or Jalal would body the shit out of Law. Like, Law is good, but, I mean, Jalal can literally just fly out of his room and then drop, Grand Chariot on him, and then GG. Jalal had a fight against Jura. I mean, yeah, but that was way back in the Grand Magic game. That was like a chapter, and it was more like a skirmish. Jen has Overdrive. I want to see him more. Oh, yeah, he's got the pseudo one. Can you bring back Classic Fiction? I've been thinking about it. If I redo it, I want to reformat. I want to, like, make a nicer layout. I don't know, maybe find some way to kind of make it look a little nicer. I don't know. It might look fine already. I'll look at it. I just got to find out a new schedule. Because if I've got to fit it and stuff. I was thinking maybe, like, doing it because I haven't had I haven't had as many theories for, like, Black Clover and stuff lately. And, like, with Fairy Tail, it's usually, like, I'll get some theories whenever a chapter comes out, because we usually get a lot per chapter, but that's every 2 weeks. So I can't, I'm not going to be able to get enough content probably to last theory videos over 2 weeks. So I could probably do that and, put it in between, like, days where there's no chapters, or maybe, put some ahead, and then, if I'm tired, then I'll just be, oh, yeah, I don't want to make a video right now, but I have some prepared. Put it up there for you guys. Who do you think is having it worse right now? Sheik against Dragon Joe or Natsu against Alderaan? I mean, probably Natsu against Alderaan, because he's literally fighting in some dude's, like, body, and, like, he doesn't even know how to fight him right now. Like, Shiki has to look out for how, like, flexible Dragon Joe's power is, but we don't even know, like, the full extent to Alderaan, and the gap between Alderaan and Natsu is much bigger than Shiki versus Dragon Joe. When we saw Natsu hit him with Demolition Fist, and it did 1/100 millionth of damage. Let's see. Natsu, since he's being, he's getting pretty bullied by Alderaan. I'm wondering how he's going to get through this. I personally don't think they're going to beat Alderaan here. I think they're going to have to retreat. I don't think they have anything strong enough right now to beat him. I think they'll have to come back later, and then have to defeat him at a different point. Natsu versus Naruto. I talked about it before. Natsu has the hacks with his Savage Dragon Fire, and his fire should counter a lot of Naruto's things. But I think right now Naruto is more powerful at the current moment. But I think Natsu when he can like go into like his Aetherius Dragon Force at will, I think that version will be way stronger. Who's your favorite character in Fairy Tail? My favorite characters are Natsu, Zeref, and Mardgear. I also really like Igneel. I've got a lot of hype for Ignia. I think Ignia has a ton of potential. I'm really hyped to see more of him. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward and understandable with Natsu and Zeref for obvious reasons. And then probably the wild card is Mardgear. I love Mardgear. You should read Mashal. I do read it. I just don't review it. I'm thinking about starting reviewing it because when I started reading it, and I was like, I don't really want to review I don't really want to review a gag series. I don't even remember if I did a review of Chapter 1. I don't think so. But I think it's been a lot better recently. I think it seems more kind of like how One Punch Man got when you got past like, because that was kind of like One Punch Man. Like when One Punch Man started, people were just like, oh, this is gonna get old. And I think it was when he fought the Beetle guy is where I think it really picked up. I think where it started to take big strides. And I think that at least I believe that Mashal. I think Mashal's been pretty good since. I want to say since he had that trial where there was that big monster and he stopped it with his bare hands and it was like digging through his hands. It was like something with a drill. I think it was like chapter 12 or something. I don't remember. I think it's been pretty good. I really like the art too. Art's fantastic. And in your opinion, basic at the ground, at the Grand Magic Games, who do you think is closer to Urza's level? Minerva, Kagura, or Mira? Probably Minerva. Because Minerva seemed stronger than Kagura, and Mira was like a weird spot. I think she was definitely around that. But if I had to bet, I think Minerva was the strongest. Because the only reason Minerva lost is because Nakagami armor. Like obviously Urza has that armor that can just straight deal with casters. If it wasn't for that, I think Minerva would have won. Oil Grey confessed to Juvia at the end of the Alderaan arc. I don't know at the end of the Alderaan arc because we know that Grey wants to. He just has to feel like he's strong enough. So I don't know. I feel like it'll be at the end of the 100 Years quest, or maybe like when we get near like the big battle, like of 100 Years quest, when we're like near the end of the 100 Years quest saga, and we're like, all right, next up is the big final climax, and everyone's geared up, and he's just like, I gotta tell her now, just in case. I think Laxus got his red lightning when his Bane particles were cured. I would love to hear like an explanation like in canon of just like how it worked. Like I got like the idea of like weird blood magic merged, but at the same time I'm like it was a little weird when it happened, but I think it's cool. How do you feel about Laxus versus K? Wait, what? Laxus versus. Oh, yeah, I already answered that. You probably asked before I got to the question on way up because I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. Already got that one. Does Fairy Tail have any data books or anything? I don't think so. None that I remember. I know there's a couple novels. I don't think there's any data books. If Natsu was in Black Clover, do you think he would join the Black Bulls or Crimson Lions? I mean, now they'd probably give him his own squad, to be perfectly honest. If he had to pick, he'd probably go with the Black Bulls just because of the way that they are. I think he would like to hang out with them more. Gray has 10 Conceptual Existence Eraser due to Mardgear. Yeah, he can. If it's a curse, he can even counter Existence Eraser because what he do with Memento Mori. It's got to be a curse because that's one of the things that makes Demon Slaying or Devil Slaying, and it's translated as both. That's like one of its perks is it counters curses. Like with Dragon Slaying, you pretty much get to bypass their ability to be resistant to magic, whereas Devil Slaying has that counter and extra damage onto demons and devils and stuff. Do I read Bastard? I haven't yet. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I guessed Blood Magic with Vonica. Good. We were both right. Yeah, it's a manga. I've heard a lot. I'm thinking of Monster. I don't remember which one Bastard is, but I know it's like a really highly rated one. Do you think Full Power God Stern is equal to Guild Arts? Probably. I think he was stronger than pre-time skip Guild Arts, but I don't think he was stronger than the Guild Arts we got now. Whereas Guild Arts versus Yami, I'm gonna go with Guild Arts. The thing about Yami that is really bad for him is if he loses the sword, he's kind of fucked. That's one of the reasons I think he needs like a magic sword, because the sword he has is just a metal sword. It could break pretty easily. Seldris versus Yami. I'd probably go with Zeldris, because one of the things about Zeldris that would kind of fuck Yami over is because of his multiple hearts, Yami would have to get all of them before he could kill him. And Dimension Slash is a thin linear attack. It could probably hit a couple, but I don't see it hitting. I don't see it hitting all. What was it? 7? I think 7. Might have been 5. No, I think it was 7. I think it was 7 hearts. But wait, what? Yeah. Getting a message. Let me scroll up. I'm getting a question from a different YouTuber about some stuff that happened earlier. And he wants. I don't want to keep him waiting, so I'm just gonna screenshot it and send it to him. Some people are starting some issues, so he wasn't too pleased about it. So let me see. That guy. Where is he? Anyway, let me scroll down. I want to get caught up with the comments before I end this stream. Do you think a sisterly bond between Urza and Wendy? I like it. I think it's really sweet. I really like Urza and Wendy, and I always enjoy when you can actually tell when characters have like a good bond in relationship, and it's not like, hey, we're good friends, like we've done stuff, we've been in arcs together, but then they don't really ever interact much. They don't really talk too much. Like maybe they'll get a stuff in between, like between arcs, but that's about it. I always really liked the way that Hiramashima has characters interact. I've always thought that was really good, and the way that he has the characters kind of just all around behave with each other, it feels very genuine. Who's your favorite villain in Fairy Tail? Oh, Zareth. Zareth, my boy. Do you think Tabata is equal or close to Hiramashima when it comes to writing badass female characters? I mean, he's got a ways to go, but he's definitely on the right track. I think he does a great job. Now, he doesn't got the full length that it's not the full length that that Hiramashima does, obviously, because he's got way more stuff. I'd like to see a competition. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say a competition between Urza and Charlotte of like who could withstand like embarrassing stuff with like their crush, but we've already seen that Charlotte will straight like run away and like run out of town. So I think she would freak out first. That's not what I meant. Wait, I just want to look up see what I mean. It happened about a year ago. It leaked from. Oh, you talking about the stuff with Sean Schemmel and all them and like all the bad stuff they were saying? Yeah, that was pretty egregious. Here's the thing. I can get the temptation of you're a voice actor, you're known for like this character, you'd probably think it'd be really funny to like have the see clips of the character saying bad stuff, just because it would be weird, but it would be humorous, when you're with your friends and stuff. I can understand that. I don't think what he did was a good idea. I think it was a terrible idea. The thing about it that was mind-boggling to me is the fact they recorded it and didn't delete it shortly after. Because I think they were old. I think they were from Dragon Ball Z Kai or whatever when they did kind of like the I think because Kai is just kind of like updated like art, and like I think it has more closer to the manga. I don't remember entirely of what the difference between like Z and Kai were, but yeah, that's just a bad idea. That was a terrible idea. Like they said all these bad things, and like I can get amongst friends if they all know no one's serious. It's amongst friends that no one's gonna find out, and you're not gonna let it get out or tell anybody. So it's not gonna hurt anybody. You're just keeping it there. You don't want to actually cause any problems. I don't think they should have done it, especially as professionals. I think that was a bad idea. But the fact they recorded it was absolutely just mind-boggling. That was so weird. It's like, if you record it, it'd be like committing a crime and taking a selfie, and then just like eventually like it gets out. It's like, why did you take the picture? It's like, why would you do that? Anyway, let's see. Let's see, where was I? Wait, here it is. Have you read Record of Ragnarok chapter 32? What do you think about Buddha design? He's weird. I gotta do a review because the Raiden dude is pretty badass, and those panels were freaking sick. When he goes and like double kicks that dude in the face, that was fucking raw. Like I loved that. Just the way that it was, of just you knew what was coming, but you're hyped to see that next page where it's just jumped in midair, legs back. Next page, just double-footed slam right in that dude's freaking face. That was great. Have you noticed every time Fairy Tail Guild fights a dragon, they're exhausted and been through several fights? Oh yeah, because the dragons a lot of times are treated like raid bosses. They're not like, oh yeah, there's a dragon here. We just showed up at its den. It's like there's a lot going on, and these dragons are involved. Of course, but that's also because the dragons always are gonna serve as like the big boss, so they're gonna have their own minions and shit. Imagine the awkward character interaction between Jalal and Has Irene. I would actually really like to see like how Irene reacts to Jalal and like how that's gonna go. Who rates female characters better, Fairy Tail, Black Clover? I mean, personally, I think Fairy Tail, but it's not very fair right now. They have a much further along story and much more characters to kind of like work with. Like I think Noelle is great. Like I think the women in Black Clover are still done really well. I think Noelle's writing is great. The other one I think I think they're all the rest of them are pretty good. Noelle's the only one I would say is really good. I would put Noelle above definitely the other ones. I think with like just even out of the main cast, Wendy, Urza, and Lucy, I think are all really well written. I think they're all excellent characters, and Noelle's on a track to be put in that same tier. I'm pretty hyped for that. Fairy Tail 100 Years is better written than the original, and no more BS fights. Well, I don't agree with as many BS fights. When I get to the parts in the videos, I'll talk more about them, because I think there's just some parts that is easily kind of like overlooked. That's one of the things that I'm looking forward to getting through Tower of Heaven, because I'm going to do a video of Dragon Slayers eating their elements, eating their attributes, because I'd like to clear that up, because I think a lot of people kind of jump the gun on that, and we'll discuss it when we get there. That one shouldn't be too long. I mean, that arc's so good. When I pick up, like when I get to the Phantom Lord, like when I get to I'm gonna reread. It'll probably be some up and down. Like, oh yeah, I'll read it, probably a couple chapters. Go do something, come back, try and finish it before the day's over. When I start like Phantom Lord, honestly, like everything Phantom Lord and Ford. Like when I start it, I'm gonna have to finish it like that day. Like I gotta just binge that in like one session, because those arcs are all so good. Especially Tartarus, man. I love Tartarus arc. Spatial cutting equates to cutting a shadow, because you're cutting something that is intangible. That's like the whole idea of like, if you can cut something that has no physical form, then you should be able to cut other things without physical forms. That's at least just how one of the rules for it has always worked. If it's something specific, then that's different, but people have always kind of like taken that way. Whose sacrifice was more tragic, or Valkyrie's? I kind of want to go Urz, because Urz had a lot of like after effects to it. Like with Valkyries, like obviously they had like the crew, all those guys that wanted to carry on her will and stuff, and it had more of like a kind of like a following good feeling. Like with caused like a lot of turmoil. Obviously, I just said that wrong. Turmoil with like Leon and stuff. And then obviously like all the stuff with Ice Shell carried on, and then I think hers had a double lay with the stuff with Ultir that happened later because of Gray. I think that worked as like a kind of extra layer onto it. Hello, from Washington, just making ramen here at work, listening to the stream. Oh, cool, man. How's it going? I'm glad to see that you're hanging out. I can provide some form of entertainment while you're working. I've been working a little bit on making ramen myself. I mean, you're probably better at it than me if you do it for a job. I pretty much, I don't know if you have any tips. Like the way I do it, I pretty much take I can't remember what kind. I think I use, it's not egg noodles. It's some form of different. It's not just like straight like ramen noodles. I think it's used for something else, but I pretty much use it for it. I think it's, I have to go look. It's some weird kind of like noodles grain, and I fill it with like half water, half chicken broth, and then I put grounded garlic in there, and then onion salt, and then heat it up. I'll take like a breaded chicken patty, and then I'll air fry it, cut it up, and then put them all together. Nothing fancy, but definitely better than like if you're like, I'm just gonna make like a cup ramen. That's because I can see like I keep some of those just in case if like something happens where it's like, man, I got no food, but generally, I try and go for the little bit more made one. Ikaruga can cut space, but doesn't mean she beats Gajil. I mean, no, but there's a gap between Ikaruga and Kenpachi. Like Kenpachi is way more aggressive than Ikaruga by a lot, And one of the things that hurts Gajil is Gajil with Dragon Force, I think, would contend better, but he doesn't have a lot of hacks. Like, I think he's got some of the damage that he could take down Kenpachi, but it's not something like Natsu. Like, if Natsu got into Savage Dragon Fire, then he's taking him down. If Gray busts out, if he pulls out, like, the True Ice, he still hasn't shown it again. I still think he should have it. It's not confirmed. If he pulls that out, then he's going to be able to take him out. He lacks the hacks, I think, is part of the thing of why I think that Kenpachi would win. Because Kenpachi's sword is obviously going to be broken. We already know that, like, weird special swords, can damage his scales if they have extra odd powers onto it. And so his should work with the way that Nozarashi is. And, well, I can't include his Bankai, because as far as we know, he can't activate it at will. I don't know if they confirmed in the light novels or what. Ikarukin, I already read that one. Let's see. I'm almost caught up. I'm only a handful of comments before I get there. I wonder if we'll ever meet Edalus Ignil. That'd be really cool in Metallicana. That'd be really cool. I don't think we ever will, though. Unless they got sucked over. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think we're going to go back to Edalus ever again. They would have to be over in Earthland. Do you think Laxus will end up with Mira Kyria? Personally, I think Kyria. I think Kyria is a more interesting one. I really like it because when you look at it, you have Kyria, who's like this super aggressive kind of character, but now she's found like this really powerful dude, and she seems to kind of like a little bit swooned over him. But with Laxus, he's this big, bulky, kind of like intimidating dude, but because how he was, crafted in the story, he actually has like a very kind heart. He's like, he talks about, he's kind of like, he doesn't have that very aggressive style to him anymore. So I think that the way that they kind of flip like that would be really interesting paired up. Plus, you have a sick lightning blade dragon kid would be super cool. Where did you get your Tartarus hoodie? Oh, I just got it off Amazon. You can just look it up on Amazon. Where was I? I think cool power for Gaju would be an anti-ethereal. That would slowly kill him, though. That'd be dangerous for him. I don't know about that one. How do you think Yuno and Asta will get stronger so they fight Xeno without Fundante without being stored? Oh, Asta's got to further advance with his devil powers, and Yuna's got to further advance with his spirit powers. Asta's is especially important because we need to have interactions between him and his devil. We need a name for him, too. We're this far in. We don't have a name for Asta's devil, and we don't have a name for the White Witch. I wish that we had something. Even a nickname would work. Even if we don't get their official name. If we just got a nickname for them, I'd be happy. Demaria and Brandish versus fourth Shinobi War Sasuke and Naruto speed equalized. What is it? Demaria and Brandish? Well, I mean, if you have them speed equalized, I mean, they're going to probably just hacks them out. Like, Demaria is going to stop time, and Brandish is going to pop the skull in their heads. I mean, they're both pretty broken. So I don't see Naruto and Sasuke being too well in that. Lucy versus Ninja War Arc. I'm stuttering now. Ninja War Arc, Sakura. I'd go with Lucy for sure. I mean, she's got a bigger arsenal. She's a better fighter. Grand Magic against Lucy versus Juvia. I'm still gonna go with for Lucy. Satoru versus Mikima. Personally, I think it's Mikima. Plus she seems. I think she has immortality from what we saw. So I don't really see what Satoru's gonna do. And she's got a lot of weird powers that we haven't even seen yet. I mean, the fact she was able to point at the Darkness Devil and cause him damage just tells me that her powers are going to be absurd. Like, Satoru's is still really strong, but I feel like Mikima's stronger. So you mentioned in One Piece you didn't like how Haki blooms in intense situations. You think that Clover's Grimoire pages being added during intense situations work. The difference between it is the way in Black Clover, it's more of like an emotional state, and it's very dependent. Like Noelle, even though her family was mean to her, she still knew that she needed to protect them. She needed to figure out a way to become strong enough to defeat the elf that was causing problems. And the way that she combined that with the realization of that she needed to take her magic and make it closer to her, have it more within her range so she could control it, made it like that. With Haki, my sole reason that I kind of don't like it is the fact that it's like, if you're losing, it could get stronger. And that's what I don't like. With Saiyans, it's kind of like with Saiyans without the fact that they have to get near death and then overcome it. Because generally with Saiyans, it's like you either get out of a super big battle and then, you're all beat up, you manage to kind of survive, and you become stronger, or, you get completely demolished, you don't die, you get healed and stuff. I think that's at least a little bit more balanced. I don't know. And then with hockey, the question is, why hasn't this happened before? That's one of the things that I've always kind of been kind of like iffy on it. And the same thing with like when Luffy got it, why didn't Katakuri get it? Like why didn't his hockey become stronger? Like that was the first time he was ever losing in his life. He should have he was put in a horrible corner. He should have gotten stronger. I don't know. Personally, I'm not a huge fan on hockey. I never really liked hockey too much. I like Conker's hockey. I never really cared too much for observation or armor hockey. Personal opinion. I know a lot of people like it, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think it's the fact that just apparently like if you're in stress, like it'll just get stronger like that. But then I'm just like, well, what about these other times? Like why didn't Luffy get it when he was fighting Doflamingo? Why didn't Doflamingo's hockey get stronger when he was fighting Luffy or Katakuri's? Are people in the future when are losing to Luffy? Like, their hockey going to get more powerful like mid fight? I don't know. That's just my personal take on it. It's the fact that I think it's the fact that it has such a loose rule. Like if there was more to it, then it'd be different. But it's just kind of like, yeah, your back's against the wall and you're kind of losing. Then it'll just kind of like advance itself. If there was more to how that worked, I think it'd be different. Maybe it'd be like only if you have like all three hockeys in the situation. Then I'd be like, okay. Then maybe like having all three hockeys, you have like some weird kind of synergy between them that it does this kind of thing. I don't know. Nothing against One Piece. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just not the style that I would prefer. But again, that's just my opinion. I've seen people ask who Lucy's female best friend between Urza, Levi, Kana, and Mira. Who do you think it is? Personally, I think it's Levi. Like Kana and Urza, I think they're good friends. Same with Mira Jane. The fact that Levi and her have a lot in common. They seem very close, and the fact that like Levi told her that she was pregnant, I think they have a much closer relationship than they have with the other ones. Like they're still friends, but I think they have more of that like I can tell you anything kind of thing. Like I can share my secrets and stuff. Like if anybody in the world, like in the fairy tale world, like Lucy has to tell somebody that she has a thing for Natsu, she's gonna tell Levi. I mean, that's obvious. Which makes me wonder, like, when did Lucy probably? I wonder when Lucy found out that Levi and Gaju were getting it on. Not at me, at Sheridan Kane. Cat, get off! What are you doing? She's like trying to stretch on my TV. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Just don't sit in front of the chat box, please. Hi. Given how much potential Wendy has as a mage, do you think her potential is as high as Natsu's? Yeah, 100%. I think definitely the thing that separates them is obviously the E&D stuff. If it wasn't for that, I think Wendy would be able to match Natsu just fine. It won't surprise me if she's like close to his level by the end of it too. They hate Minerva. Wait, they hate Minerva. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to skip this. Let's see. There we go. What do you think about Minerva? Because a lot of people hate her. I think that she kind of. I was really hoping that she was going to kind of get built up and that she was going to slowly get like higher ranked, like after Tartarus, that she maybe would have joined Alvarez or something. I think that would have been really cool. I felt like she was just kind of like was like, I don't really want to do this with her, and then decided to bring her back to Sabretooth. I don't know. I kind of understood Minerva's switch. Her dad is pretty abusive. Yeah, she had like a power complex situation. Do you read Bastard or do you answer? I was in the bathroom. I haven't read it. I need to read it at some point. At some point, I need to read it. They hate Minerva, but when they hate Urza for beating her, but then they hate Urza for beating her logic. The thing that people got mad at was the fact that Urza pulled out. She pulled out this armor that was really good and useful. The thing is, her Nakagami armor. It's not like, this is my anti-spatial armor. No, it's a dispel armor. She essentially has a anti-magic armor. She becomes an anti-mage warrior for a short period of time. And that just seems like a really logical thing for Urza, who most of her armors, like she's got a lot of resistance armors. So it makes sense for her to be like, oh yeah, I should get one that just helps me fight casters in general. But it never made sense to me when you, like, for people not to expect her to have something when you had all these characters show up in that arc with like new gear, like new abilities and stuff. It's like, how did you not expect Urza to show up with something new when literally everybody's showing up with new stuff? Like they just gotta have a power up period, time skip stuff. Like it should be easy. Give it. I read this one. It'd be cool if Nebel becomes Wendy's friend. I'm hoping Nebel joins the guild. I'm super hoping Nebel joins the guild. And the fact that Saber, or not Saber, the fact that Diablo's abandoned him, I think he's gonna become a good guy. Whether or not he's in the Fairy Tail Guild, though, not 100%. I'd be fine if he joined any of the like popular guilds. I think Fairy Tail would work the best for obvious reasons. Kenny barely has any hacks. Yeah, but he's durable as hell. He doesn't give a shit. Like, it's the deck, he doesn't give a shit about taking damage to land hits on his opponents and how dangerous Nozarashi is. I think currently he wins. It could easily change. But I think theirs is more... I don't think theirs is more of, like, a straight domination kind of setup. I think it's more of, like, Kenpachi. I think Kenpachi's powers work well against Gachio's. I think he's just got kind of like a situational power advantage. Just like putting up against somebody, and the question I think that would be like a determining factor is if Gachio could eat Nozarashi. If he could dodge an attack and maybe land a bite and start eating some of it, then I think Gachio would go Dragon Force and win. But other than that, I would give it to Kenny. I'll put that in there. If he can eat Kenpachi's sword, then I think he would win. There's levels to intangibility, and shadows are... Yeah, but shadows in... I don't think shadows are as high as space, because space is literally just space. I don't know. I've never heard anyone rank anything, I think, higher than... I think the closest to outside of space is just, like, full-on intangibility. Like what Obito had. How large do you think the gap between Laxus and Gildarts is? I don't think it's very big. I think it's... like if you had to put them at 1 to 100, I think if Gildarts was 100, Laxus would probably be like mid 90s, like 95. Face reveal one day. You gotta save stuff like that for special numbers. I gotta save it for like like close to 10,000 or something. The cat's chewing on napkins. Gray versus Urza, who wins? I think Gray wins currently. Currently, I think Gray would beat Urza. Hey, quit it. It's ranch on there. You're a cat. You don't eat ranch. Whitebeard, Prime versus Alderaan. Alderaan would roll over and kill everybody in one piece. Astaroth, just call him that. I mean, that's not his name yet, though. I gotta wait. It'll bug me. I don't know. I think the only one we gave a nickname to was the Word Devil, and people called him Weevil. I would say Lucy passes Juvie after getting Star Dress, not the Grand Magic Games. I think she was already like capable of that. I think she was already capable of beating her, and I think Aquarius being one of the big factors in that. Excuse me. Oh my god, my cat won't quit. She keeps messing with these napkins. Anti-Magic and One for All are which are different from each other's, aside from being powers from main antagonists. And Anti-Magic, yeah, they're pretty cool though. I like the inherited kind of like aspect both to them. No, it's not at me. Do you think Lucy x Natsu or Natsu x Lizana? Oh, Natsu and Lucy. Lizana, unfortunately, like Lizana came back and then kind of for no reason. Denji versus Yuji. Probably Denji. The fact that Denji would be able to keep healing and regenerating from, his blood, I think he would win. He's got way more stamina and way more dangers on him. Aquarius was said to be equal to Juvia in Grand Magic Games, so if Loki was stronger, then Aquarius is stronger than Lucy in the Grand... Yeah, exactly. Plus she could still summon... She didn't have Star Dress at the time, but she could summon 2 spirits, so she could have dropped Lucy and Aquarius... Leo and Aquarius at the same time. Does One Piece have the best writing? I don't think so. I mean, other people love it. My opinion, no. But if some people love it the most, that's fine. What's your favorite ongoing manga anime series? My favorite ongoing manga, obviously Fairy Tail. Favorite ongoing anime, Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, but I say Yu-Gi-Oh as the whole though. Obviously Seven's just started, so it can't. I'm counting it as a whole. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Yu-Gi-Oh's so awesome. Such a fun series. I want to know and see more about Dragon Slayer's secret spells. One day we're gonna get one for Rogue, and one day we're gonna get one for Cobra. Like Kiria got one first real chapter she did stuff. I still haven't got anything for Rogue. I mean, like Sting has this Holy Nova, and like Rogue doesn't have anything. And it's not like they're gonna need to have like 10. Natsu has the most, but like still, like you'd figure that he would have like one given each. I hope Gray could get a secret art spell. That'd be cool. I don't think I ever thought about Gray getting one. Gray still is a Slayer, but I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think about Godslayer, but Sharia had one. Nebel has no magic anymore. No, she took. So pretty much all the magic that was in his body got dispersed. Like, he'll still regenerate magic. He just kind of got zeroed out. Like, his magic got blanked out. He has 0 magic and was done and done at the time. But his magic will return to him. When Joe falls, how do you predict the other state's government will react? I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that they make Shiki, like, put Shiki in Dragon Joe's place. That's the only one. So if they do like a time, because time travel, like a young Dragon Joe, and make Shiki like Dragon Joe's replacement in the Rascalon States Galactica, that'd be awesome. I think that'd be super sick. That's not at me. Can't believe people think Asta can negate all magic when it's shown he needs a physical amp. I mean, there's also the thing that we've seen that it takes more anti-magic the more powerful the magic is. Because it's not like it's a one wisp of anti-magic, bam, it negates it. Like, there's it's like an equivalency thing. Like, if this spell is a 5, you need the same equal amount of anti-magic, so it hits it, negates it, turns into 0. Because if it's this spell's a 5, this anti-magic attack that's coming in is a 3, bam, that 2 is still there. Asta and environment can still get hit. You know, trades that Shiki and his crew still haven't crossed Dragonfall. That's next. Hiramashima confirmed this is the last thing before they leave the Sakura Cosmos to go to Dragon Falls. I wonder if the Black Dragon Knight will show up and eat Alderaan alive. I don't think it'll be with Alderaan. I think it'll be next arc with Selene. Because, like, so far, the way that the Diablos has worked, they come in, then they exit, they'll come back next arc with more people and, like, you know, updates to what they're doing and stuff. That's not me. So do you think Laguna left show business for Joe? I probably had threatened him. I mean, really, probably offered him no choice. Have you seen Bird Box? I haven't. I remember, like, there was a lot of stuff, like, going on when people were doing, like, weird-ass challenges for it. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream. It's been about 2 hours. I'm glad we figured out the issue. I guess something must have been in the title that like, triggered, like, a YouTube algorithm that, like, you got to end this. It violates terms of service. But after this point, should be good. After this point, it should be good. If it was just the name, it wasn't anything we were doing that, you know, it causing problems. So I'll finish this up. Probably gonna. I think my brother wanted to play a couple games, and then I will do. Then I'll do some videos. Like I said, I got to do the Black Clover and Fairy Tail reread videos, and then I'll do. I don't really know if I want to do a video on Everloo. Maybe I'll do it on Everloo. He's kind of boring. Everloo and the other. I guess because I forgot the other dude's name. Maybe I'll make them so people remember them. Just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's that dude's name. Well, I'll get it on there. Right, yeah, you two have a good one. Wait, let me read this one. Anti-magic swords can't fully cut through sand or gel. Yeah, because it's got to hit all of it. Like, I think if Asta hit it with, like, Black Divider now, it would work just fine. It said he lost Dragon Slayer magic since it was separated from him and said it would suffer magic deficiency, but it eventually recover. Yeah, it'll come back. He'll recover. So magic deficiency in Fairy Tail is because of the way that their bodies work. Their bodies are dependent on magic. That's why when Dragon Slayers, like motion sickness, it messes with their ability to conjure magic, and it actually can kill them. Like, magic deficiency can kill wizards in Fairy Tail because their body essentially doesn't have the energy source that they need to survive. If he's suffering magic deficiency, he would die if his magic didn't return to him. Like, Neva would straight die. So he'll come back. He'll return. He'll be better at some point. I'm hoping he comes back and joins the guild, but we'll see. Anyway, other than that, thanks for showing up, guys. Next week, when Fairy Tail Chapter 2 comes, please do the. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna do the review. I'll do the review that same day that it comes out. Well, same day the official translations. Well, not officials. Apparently apparently Kondasha is setting up to do an official translation, like simulcast release. So if that happens, that'll be great because then we'll be able to support officials way more. So other than that, though, thanks everyone for showing up. Talk to you guys next week, and yeah, I'll get started on some of these videos and whatnot.